Oh, one of these days you'll see me walking out that tunnel in that Chirpy outfit there for Chirpy. Do not forget, I want to be at every single home game, every single season. But I do apologise about being late this evening. Of course, the under-21s playing in the Cup tonight got off to an absolute flying start. 2-0 up already against Sunderland. Donnelly, of course, after coming off the bench yesterday, is playing today. Absolutely brilliant. Love to see that. But 2 great goals just to keep you updated quickly. Sunsup Bell picked up the ball, actually soloed it between 2 players. Absolutely unbelievable bit of skill. And from an acute angle, rifled it home. And the second goal, Kieran Menton, great strike outside the box into the bottom corner. Just for an update on that, we are also top of the group. Haven't lost the game yet. We're playing Sunderland this evening. We barely actually bet them earlier on in the season. It was a late Harvey White goal that kicked off the campaign. But we're playing in the Premier League Cup, which is the version that the under-18s and the under-17s won last season. So, absolutely great start to life for the under-21s tonight. Continuing on where the senior team did yesterday. But what a week for Jamie Donnelly, coming off the bench yesterday and playing for the under-21s tonight in the Cup. Absolutely brilliant. Few things to get through tonight before we get going. But first, we'll check in with Jack. I'll see how it is. Jack, how are you, my man?
I'm doing well, Dave. Nice to see that the under-21s are carrying the momentum and also delivering you some further enjoyment after the Spurs men's team have as well. And just sort of, good to see that Jamie Donnelly's becoming a busy man. He has to, show up and kind of, be able to be a part of 2 different teams now quite regularly. He's making some substitute appearances, for the men's team, but then as well, he's making, the casual or not casual, the usual impact that he does with the under-21. So it's nice to see Mr. Jamie Donnelly becoming busier and busier and the new face of the academy. And also with the way they're sort of going about this game, it looks like it could end up being a cricket score or maybe a basketball score of some kind. Yeah. So maybe looking forward to seeing maybe a few hat tricks or maybe some big score lines, maybe from certain players or some big performances, maybe get out the compilation reels, type of thing. Feeling...
Oh, it's just cleared. Sorry, guys, you will hear me occasionally do that. I will keep you updated. Of course, I'll be watching this in the background as the fan show goes along. Just quickly, Jack, just before you move on, I actually like the fact that Jamie Donnelly is playing for the under-21s and sort of coming off the bench for the senior team, because it sort of keeps him hungry, right? But it also gives him a taste of what he could have if he stays on the right path, and it keeps keeps games and minutes in his legs as well. So absolutely delighted on that, Jack. Oh, sorry for cutting you off.
No. And, we have heard around the ground, I guess, in this fan show from Davo today. He's going to have his finger to his ear. He'll be listening, to what's happening around the grounds, for the under-21s and everything. But hopefully everybody's keeping well. Please, everybody, do come on, have your say. Please have a discussion with us, especially after we've finally been delivered a win, what felt like a very deserved win, but a much needed one as well. So please, everybody, come on, have your say. Good to see already a few in the background, but we would like to see more in the queue and have a good few discussions with people tonight. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Do get your comments in on everything that you're sort of feeling ahead of this week and going into the Nottingham Forest game this Friday, because we're one of the last teams to play this weekend, but we're also going to play quite quickly again this upcoming Friday. What are we looking at here, Dave?
I'm just bringing up the under-21 lineup for everybody. Gunter starts and goals. Lyons Foster at right back, Dorrington and Lyons Foster and Dorrington at centre back, Ashcroft at right back, Robson at left back, Craig, Kieran Menton forming the midfield, Donnelly plays in that sort of cam role, Sunsup Bell on the right, Santiago on the left, with Will Lancashire there as well. So that's just the under-20 lineup, under-21 lineup for everybody that's out there this evening, just in case anybody is wondering. But look, let's get into it. Let's see who's joining us this evening in the chat. Let's see what great men and women Spurs fans, happy Spurs fans. Let's see who we've got with us. We've got Tron in nice and early, us in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Hotspur Towers with the best fan show around. So there's one thing left to say. Let's get ready to rumble. Well, the under-21 certainly heeded that message for sure. Bob being counter, big up Felix says, guys, we really battered them and looked far more clinical than we have all season. Looking at our coming fixtures, I really think we're about to go on a real run. Come on, you Spurs. Well, look, we have a couple of topics which I will get into. Some people branded me as mad Saturday evening when I put out my predicted lineup. Don't seem so mad now, do I? But I do want to know, is Sonny better suited to striker or out left? for Tottenham Hotspur for the remainder while we're carrying so much injuries. So that is one thing we'll definitely be talking about tonight. Andrew Seymour, hi guys, I predicted 2-2, so glad to be proved wrong. Absolutely, my man. We always love a win. Steady Shark under 21s are about to play. They're ripping it up, big man. Fast Jazzy Fusion says Son's best as left attacking mid in a 4-2-3-1 like yesterday. False 9 and Ange ball. I know you'll disagree. Just wanted to get my vote in. Look, for me, I think Sonny is better out left. I think you lose 50% of Sonny. You go back to that West Ham game. We were looking for someone to step up, be that man, to take the game by the scruff of the neck. When Son plays through the middle, I argue it's hard for him to do that. But against Newcastle, when you have him out on left, he can get on the ball, drive at people, take players out of the game, and make things happen. Jason or Jazzy, big up, my man. Jason Bell is underneath as well. Big up, lads. Could this be the beginning of Richarlison's redemption arc? Look, we've been here before with Richarlison, but what I will say is he'll have to back it up against Forest on Friday night, and then we'll talk a bit more, Jason. Big up, Derek Hutchison. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Big up, Walsh Galaswell. Big up, lads. Happy days. Those who wavered on Big Ange, shame on you. Absolutely spot
Love
on.
it, Walsh Gal.
Mick Kermanox says, good evening, Jack and Dave. Won't be on for long because the wife's cousin has passed away. She was only 65. I'm sorry to hear about that, Mick. Please pass on our condolences here from me and Jack at the Irish Hotspur. King Huddle says, best display on their hand so far. Breathtaking football, full of energy, purpose and invention, and achieved without Van de Ven, Matters and Bentancur, and just bringing back the magic. I back him to the hill. Come on, you Spurs. Interestingly, in that lineup, Lo Celso was dropped. What do you think that means for his career at Tottenham Hotspur? If he was dropped and he's a natural midfielder and Kulu was pulled in from the right-hand side, people will also maybe ask a question about that this evening. Who else have we got? We've got Malware in with us. I love the Koi's Army. Oh, we all do, my man. We all love being a part of it when we're winning, that's for sure. Tyler says, come on, you Spurs. Hope everyone is having a great evening. Great evening, as always. Hopefully you are too. Also, big up Mark Cook. Says, big up Dave and the chat. Marky boy, hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Great win yesterday. Carl Gurkey says, morning all. Where are you tuning in from, Carl? Do let us know if it's the morning time. Probably Australia, I'm probably guessing. Let me know. Kelly JTV, Prue. That's what I signed off on Twitter with last night. It seemed to be a very popular sign-off. Prue, absolutely loved it. Big man is back in action. Jack, how good was it to see him score yesterday?
It's just nice to not have Richie be as he's used to the criticism, and he's used to having just a lot of sort of questions about, like, all right, when do we feel like, we can see him go? What sort of money can we get for him? And it's just nice to just postpone those conversations and just sort of like what we saw on Twitter Reacts, just sort of, celebrate him, for at the end of the day, having a great performance that was crucial in helping us get that win. He doesn't get to be a part of sort of the future conversations or anything like that. Just give him his praise for today. And, he helped us get the win, and let's hope that he can do it again. Because if he does do it again, then, the narrative might start to change a bit, or perhaps there might start to be a bit more sympathizers to maybe what Richie's had to go through, I guess, at this club. He's had a very confusing and tough time here, but it just feels good, Dave. Just feels good to see Richie happy.
No, 100%. He looked so much freer yesterday in his mind and that, but something that I've sort of brought up before that, we require players to play through injury because of squad depth and stuff like that. And I do think it sort of puts the players at a disadvantage sometimes. But look, that, it's up to Richarlison to keep scoring and keep changing that narrative. Only he can do it. The narrative exists because of what he has done in a Spurs jersey before. However, if he goes on a run now, I think we have to look more into the squad depth and that, why are we asking these players to play through injury for so long?
Yeah.
But look, delighted to see the big man on the score sheet. Anyone that starts, in the Tottenham game. Oh, Sunsup Bell is here in behind the Sunderland defense. Is he on for his second? He looks to square it. Oh, it's a poor square.
Keep pruing, Kelly. Just keep pruing. Keep pruing away.
But keep pruing away, Kelly JTV. Big yourself up. Where am I? I've lost. So we are back with Welsh Guys says, love the festive hat. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Quite enjoying it myself. A nice little addition, I think. I absolutely love it. Neil says, this should be our default setting from now on, just as it was before injuries, etc. Only when we are full strength, we will need to be just as clinical. Who will live with that in the opposition? Not many. not many. Just get some squad depth sorted out, and we'll be able to keep up that relentless all the time. All the time, my man. Big yourself up, Neil. Absolutely spot on with that one. Whereas we Willie McKenzie, big up David and Jack. I believe you're the guy just ahead of me in the fantasy league. Of course, your boy rose to number 24 from 32. Absolute great weekend for me. So William Kenzie, I would say I'm hot on the heels, my man. You might want to have a good look into the team this weekend. Big up, though. Big up, Brad Matthews. Good evening, everyone. Great stuff. Good to see you in, Brad. And he will be our first guest this evening. Jamie Stu 07. No, Johnny. Don't know what that's about. Bill Coy says, big up Dave and Jack, loving the hat. Feel we are going to go on an unbeaten run till the new year. Few signings in January, then we'll be looking good. Come on, you Spurs. Phil, only 7 points off top. I mean, nice run of fixtures to come. Is Dare to Dream again? Let me know, Phil. Let me know.
Love it, Phil.
We have a Mountain Bushman. Big up, lads. What a result. Absolute cracking result, Bushman. Loving that yesterday. Great name as well. Great name. Chris, what a glorious day at work. Got to wind up Man United, Chelsea, and Geordie fans too. Absolutely loved that. Probably walked in with a load of tea towels and everything else.
3 for 1
Chris,
deal.
my man.
3 for 1 deal in terms of roasting the give the banter session. 3 for 1 deal. You got to do too many clubs at once. You didn't even have to focus on just one, Chris. You could just do them all at once, which feels good. And I think plenty of us had sort of taken joy in that, and that it was sort of a weekend that everybody else is sort of at least under a bit of pressure, under a bit of drama right now after their sort of drop points, but Spurs get to avoid it. We don't get to be a part of that group. We get to sort of relax and just enjoy our week after picking up the 3 points that so few of the top table clubs right now, or the clubs that are in the top of the table, they all drop points, I guess, bar us and Aston Villa, if I'm not mistaken. So it's nice to see.
Oh, that magpie tasted absolutely lovely yesterday. Absolutely lovely yesterday, Chris. Big up, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Boston Spurs fans, here we go, boys. David and Jack, my favorite duo. It's amazing how a win makes Monday more tolerable. Absolutely. I actually put out a tweet about that earlier, my man, saying, how Spurs win actually changes then Monday blues completely. Absolutely love that. Big yourself up. King Huddle says, good evening. Very happy. We all are, my man. Very happy. We all are, my man. Big yourself up. Who else have we got joining us? We have Iceman. Good evening, all. Great weekend for the mighty Tottenham and a lovely magpie on Sunday. Love that. We go again Friday, and Jack, Jeep, keep my seat warm in the fantasy football league, mate.
Yeah,
fired.
Well, I'm already quickly bragging like I did last time for cracking into the top 10. I learned I'm not sure if I actually learned my lesson really, because I'm bragging once again now that I find myself in the top 10. So anytime that I do crack in there, I get very boastful and I get very proud of myself. And we'll see if I get humbled and get sent back to the depths of, the 18th and the 17th and have to work my way back into it. Or maybe I might hold my nerve and, stay in there this time, Iceman. But I would like to see you at least around, with me, because I think you sadly had to fall out of the top 10. So hope to see you back in there sometime soon, Iceman.
Big up, Iceman. Definitely taking his eye off the ball, I would say.
Oh, no.
Johnny Maddox says, looking forward to Friday. We don't stop. Time for a long run. Absolutely. I really do hope so, my man. Mark says, I just don't get the constant sniping at Romero. Nor the fan base would try and hound out a world-class centre-back. It is who Romero is. Lose the nastiness and he will be an average centre-back. I mean, look, it just seems to now like we're at the point, when we win, he's pulled out for criticism. When we lose, he's pulled out for criticism. Anyone that criticizes him, fine, take him out, put him Dyer to the end of the season. Let's see if you're moaning about wanting a centre-back on the end of the season. That's where I'm at with it. I'm just fed up with it at this point. Fed up with it. We're clearly a better team with him in. And that's another thing. Come on, let us know, Is there agenda against Romero? Do you think it's right to constantly be pulling him out? Should he be doing better in that regard? Let us know your opinion on that. Ricardo, evening. Lads, big up, Ricardo. Hopefully you're keeping well. Keith Edwards, we're going in the right direction. It's a must. We need to keep Son on the left, Kulu in the midfield. Big yourself up, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Absolutely agree with that for sure. Ian Ferguson this afternoon. All let the happy clapping resume. Anyone seen Leighton Evelyn today?
Leighton, I got my score prediction wrong. I should have went for more. I should have went for 4-1. Should have added a goal to my 3-1 prediction. But it's nice to yeah, we took a pause on the happy clapping, Ian, and it's nice to resume it once again. I even see Jerry towards the bottom of the chat saying, "Happy clapping, fellas, once again. Come on, you Spurs." Everybody feels good about happy clapping, and we just look forward to doing it as quickly as possible. And here's our chance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here is our chance. Big up. He's tuning in from Melbourne. Absolutely spot on. I was from Australia. Big up, my man. Hope you're keeping well. Mary W says, love Richie, top man. Absolutely spot on. Brilliant guy goals for him yesterday. Malware says, let's go Spurs. Big Dave predicted the correct scoreline. Look, come on now. Come on. I don't want to rub it in. Honestly, the way I predicted that game, as people would swear I was, I was sitting in the room with Ange Postecoglou when he's deciding on the tactics for that game. Jimmy says, good afternoon, Dave and Jack. Was great watching the game along with your watch along yesterday. Glad we got a great result. You know what? I was actually only saying to Jack after the game, I actually really enjoyed that watch along yesterday. It was so much fun, and hopefully we have many more of them along the way, my man. Big up, Jimothy. Great to have you. Davey Hoss says, come on, you Spurs, big up the crew. Missing too many chances may make them look at someone else for Richie. Big up, my man. Good to see you in the building, Davey Hall. He says, big up the crew, missing too many chances. Yeah, look, we do miss a lot of chances for sure. Definitely can't complain about that. Jerry says, happy clapping, fellas. Come on, you Spurs. Only happy clapping when we win. My man. Big up, Jerry. And then Leighton Evelyn's reporting for duty. He says, I'm here. I was wrong. I'm glad when I'm wrong. So, Jack, if you're happy clapper number one, I'm happy clapper number two. I presume that makes Leighton Evelyn negative Nancy number one. So, negative Nancy number one, reporting for duty. Good to see you in the building, Leighton Evelyn. I absolutely love the banter between us. It is good. And I know you're always glad when you're wrong, big man. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully,
see you, Leighton.
You are keeping well.
Appreciate you, sir. Thanks for tuning in as always as well, my man. And it's nice to trade sort of these blows, Leighton, of, getting the happy clapper predictions right. And then other times getting quite humbled and, having to face facts and face reality on certain times. But it's nice to trade our blows. Be curious to see how, our predictions line up towards the end of the season. Big up, Leighton.
Big up, Leighton. Great to see you, my man. And then a bit of news for you guys. Udogie to sign a new deal. This is from Fabrizio Romano today, exclusive. Tottenham reaching agreement with Destiny Udogie on a new long-term deal for the Italian fullback. Club sources confirm deal is in place and sealed and understand it's all done. Spurs very happy with Udogie's salary rise. Agreed. So Destiny Udogie getting a new contract, a long-term contract with hopefully bumper rise in his wages. If there's anyone that deserves a rise in the wages, it's definitely him. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal. And of course, sealed the deal with his first goal yesterday. So buzzing for Destiny Udogie. But look, we've got plenty to sort of talk about this evening. Let's waste no time. I suppose we'll start getting on the guests, right, Jacko?
Yeah, fire away, Dave. Bring them in here, see what they have to say. Please, everybody, though, if you can for us, do smash the like button. Do get your comments in. If you do want to pop on and have your say and, have a chat with us, feel free to grab a membership. We'll put the link in maybe just a second here as we're bringing Brad in here. And then as well, if you want to maybe stop Brad, Dave, or I or myself at any stage, feel free to throw in a super chat because it does help support the channel, but also just gets your opinion heard sort of straight away and you can interrupt the show at any stage. But let's bring in the man, Brad, see what he has to say.
Let's get him on. Big up, Brad. Of course, first of all, how are you? I know you were at the game yesterday. You put in a very sort of passionate rallying call at the end of the game into the group chat there last night. Big come on you Spurs. Impressed yesterday?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks. Yeah, it was a brilliant day. I was actually quite amazed that there was a lot of negativity after the West Ham game about that we was going to lose yesterday, but I had a sort of feeling that we would win. Mainly because I knew that Newcastle would attack us, and that really suits us. But no, it was a really, really good day. Excellent play by Tottenham. The beers were flowing. And then I finished off the evening at the Irish bar in Ealing called the Shanachie. Met a few other Spurs fans in there and finished the night singing Fairy Tale of New York with a couple of the girls in there. So it was a really, really good night, and I'm glad I was working from home today, so it made it a lot easier.
Sunday night games, you hope you get a win, definitely, so that you can at least go into the next day, even if you don't feel so great, you had a win to carry you through the rest of the week. Maybe I'm not sure if this is on cue with everything we want to ask people, but Did you go into that feeling that that was a needed win, though, Brad? Like there was maybe a bit of pressure on Spurs, maybe even on Ange, going into that
Yeah,
game?
I think there was certainly in my attitude was different from the Villa game, which we lost after playing well. I think after the West Ham game, I thought, well, this is happening too regularly now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt that, and I think Ange said something similar in his aftermatch, that they just seemed to think, well, we've done all the hard work in the first half, we're all over them. The game's going to take care of itself, and obviously it doesn't.
Right.
So I think that it might have been a bit of a kickstart to them. Maybe they just had to. They was getting a bit complacent, but no, they came out yesterday and they just really went at it. I mean, we've always got that energy. We seem to have that energy, but we don't. We seem to spend too much time around the goal. Sort of, no one takes responsibility. But yesterday we were more direct and more quick, and actually had some shots and that sort of thing. And to be honest, it could have been so much more. My word. I mean, we had, if you think of the second half after Richarlison's goal, Iceman, you're right. You can hear it in my voice. After Richarlison's goal, literally in the few minutes after that, we had Brendan Johnson running down, hitting the bar or the post or whatever it was. And there was another chance that I think Son missed. And then there was a chance where Son was on the end of a cross and just put it wide. And then right near the end, Skip had a one-on-one with the keeper virtually and hit the keeper. So we had 4 absolutely brilliant chances to score, and they still won the game 4-1. So it was coming. That result, I think, was coming. We owed it to some team, it was. I must give some credit. I know Chris is on here. I must give some credit to the Newcastle fans because if anyone's not aware, at the end of the Tottenham games in the ground, they play that song that goes na 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 na. And everyone was singing it. Something on fire. Everyone was singing it. And I looked over to the Newcastle fans, and they were singing it and dancing at the same time. They're doing it as well. So I thought, fair play to them. But no, it's just a really, really, really good day.
I did a rendition of that, but Richie on fire.
I was so pleased for him. I really was so pleased that he scored that goal. That's really, really good. I mean, I probably could have got his first one, but no, he took the second one. After I think he miscontrolled it slightly, but he recovered really well and just slotted it home. So hopefully that will give him some confidence. I think we're going to need him because when Son goes to the Asian Cup, we're going to need someone to sort of score. And I know that one of the questions tonight is, where is Son's best position? Well, yeah, if you've got Richarlison scoring goals, then you can play Son on the left. Yeah. And I think you've got to think when he plays up the middle, he's good up the middle, but we're just relying on him too much. And I think you want it to be a luxury more, rather than relying on him, sort of thing. But ask Trippier how Son played yesterday.
He went back to the Trippier that we sold on the Pochettino. It was absolutely unbelievable by Sonny yesterday. Absolutely devastated him. Absolutely devastated him. But one quick follow-up question on Richie, and then we'll take Carl's question as well. So when it comes to Richarlison, would you now give him a run of games down the middle? And how many games would you give him?
Well, I mean, he's obviously going to start the next game. I mean, you don't change a winning team. No, I'd give him a run of games. If he pick up form and score, a goal every other game, which is always a good return for a striker, because you've got to look at January when we lose some players, when we lose people like Son. We just need someone to score the goals. We probably do need to sign another striker as well, but that's all about the team being a big squad, and it's. I think even Son said it in an interview, didn't he? He sort of said that he wants to sign a big striker because it keeps him on his toes, and players want players to compete with. So hopefully he'll get a run. He'll play like that, and if he plays like that, yes, he'll deserve a run of games. And it's really good to see. Really good to see.
Dave in his predicted lineup, by the way, Brad, had Richie up through the front and had Sonny on the left, and everybody kind of thought he was a crazy person.
Right.
Did you have a sneaky feeling about that, or was it just complete surprise?
I thought that I didn't think Richarlison would start yesterday, so it surprised me a bit. I think what surprised me was the fact that Lo Celso has been playing reasonably well, and he was dropped for Richarlison effectively. I'll tell you what else.
Was that part to do with his performance against West Ham, though, Brad? Because I did say going into that West Ham game, these are the games where I judge sort of the Celso, because it's up to him to make that creativity from midfield. And I'll be honest, I was very angry. I was very not angry. I was disappointed with him against West Ham because I felt he didn't really have that creativity. And is that maybe why he was dropped?
I think in the first half, I mean, we all did well in the first half, and he was the only one that had a shot really in that first half. I mean, that's one thing he does do. He does shoot. I get really frustrated with Tottenham that they don't shoot, and he has scored 2 goals from shooting, and he had that shot that the Fabianski pushed over the bar. So yeah, I think, and everyone in the second half was just out of sorts. It was just a really poor performance. So I was surprised that I actually, the comment I made when I saw the lineup was he'll be off in January. I think he'll go. I think he'll be, because he wants first team football as anyone would. But yeah. I'll tell you what. Before we get on to Carl's question here, I tell you what really made a difference yesterday: the energy of Papa Sarr. Oh, that guy is phenomenal. We've really missed that. I think when he's been away, his energy just getting around the pitch, and some the skill. I think people seem to district. He's got a lot of skill as well. He's a very skillful player, you know. But yeah, I think that midfield. Basuma was okay, you know. But hopefully he's getting back, you know, getting better every week. But yeah.
Interesting.
No, he is. And then Carl's question. Carl's question, just quickly, he was saying, do you think that turnaround was in large part to Ange cracking the whip after the Hammers game? No more Mr. Nice Guy. Or do you think, you know, that turnaround could be to do with the changes that we made? Because, look, to Carl's point here, he did change tact after the West Ham game. Before that, he sort of took the blame. But after the West Ham game, he laid a lot of blame at the players' door. In the pre-match press conference, he sort of challenged Johnson, challenged Richarlison and stuff like that. What do you put the turnaround down to?
Well, I think that's part of it. I think the players probably feel they have to do that as well. And what I tend to do is I tend to go on how I feel about the game. And as I said earlier, after the Villa game, I was, we're playing well, it's okay. But after the West Ham game, no, it's happening too much. And I think he like myself had that breaking point. And I think that's what happened. He just laid into them, and I think they've responded. And it's good, the response that they showed in the very next game, which was potentially a difficult game against a decent team. But yeah, that they did that. You know, if they hadn't have done that, then you think, well, hang on a minute, he's had a go at them. They haven't performed, but they did perform. And yeah, the tactical change of playing Richarlison up front worked. So, you know, all these people that say he doesn't know anything about tactics, has got no plan B, well, you know, that sort of proved wrong yesterday. But yeah, I think it's down to Ange having a go, but also the players themselves. The players probably felt that way as well. For, well, you know, I think they look really disappointed after that West Ham game. I mean, obviously West Ham, like they always do, thought they'd won the cup final, so that must have been sort of ringing in their ears as they walked off the pitch. But hey, it's great, brilliant, you know. I mean, Neil's saying about Ange for psychology, he is a very, very good talker. I mean, we all know that. We've all read reports of, you know, how he is and how he does stuff. So yeah, he knows what he's doing. I mean, everyone seems to think, outside of Spurs supporters, seems to think, oh yeah, he just plays attacking football, gung ho, doesn't no tactical awareness, blah 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 blah. But no, he knows what he's doing.
It's funny that everybody calls him naive, right? And is kind of so quick to criticize him when he loses. But then the moment that they seem to watch us, or when we're playing well and winning, they're also then saying it's some of the best football they've ever seen, like, you know, in years, or like, you know, this season from any team. I'm just sort of like, I don't think you can say, but those can be, I don't think it's a mutually exclusive thing. Like, I think those are just sort of like, you can't say, you know, that he's naive and then also praise Spurs for having some of the best football that you've seen all season. You know, at times it just seems like you got to either go with it and accept that it has its risks and, you know, it's kind of its, you know, weaknesses, maybe this sort of type of style of play, and you can get hurt, but you can also, you know, just go full in and just accept, you know, its weaknesses or what comes with it. It feels like, but nobody's doing that.
Yeah, he's had success in every league he's been in. You know, so why should this be any different? You know, it's when you think of it, you're managing a team, but your team's a better team than, say, he would have been in, say, Tokyo or Japan when he was there, and the opposition are better. But you're playing in the players are all better, but they're all, it's like It's not, oh, I can't handle this. All these players, they're too good for me. I can't handle it. But no, it doesn't work that way, you know. And he's always said that he's got his philosophy that he's stuck to. And we're seeing, I think we tend to forget. And, I probably overreacted on if you'd seen some of my comments in some of the chats, I overreacted on Thursday night. But we seem to forget that he's only been our manager for, 15 games, So, this guy has got has got time on his side and hopefully some transfer windows and hopefully we'll get some players in the windows and, Mr. Levy won't sort of do what he normally does and we get him in early and this sort of thing, and we knew that there was going to be, and he knew as well that there's going to be moments this season where it wouldn't go right for us, and we would have a run of losses or whatever, and that's happened. Can you imagine if that had happened at the start of the season? We'd all be saying, "What's going on?" But because we had that brilliant start, suddenly it's like, "Oh, hang on a minute, why are we losing all of a sudden?" Well, yeah, we're going to lose. I mean, look at Man City. I predicted they'd walk the league at the start of the season. We're only 3 points behind them. And they've lost. Yeah. They're losing games, So it's. I mean, me. I'm not the greatest tactician or knowledge of tactics in the world, but I think I know a little bit about philosophy and psychology about it. And I think that's. I think that's what's happening. It's a football or any sport for that matter is a mental game as well as a skillful game. So.
There's also clearly more togetherness in this squad than I would say I've seen before. Yeah. Like I don't know, like we've complained about cliques in the past, Brad and Dave. I mean, I wouldn't say there are any cliques of any kind really in the squad or anything like that. And there isn't that sort of tension, in sort of the team or anything like that. When we go a goal down, they really do seem to enjoy each other and they fight for each other.
I think you're right. I think I haven't seen this sort of spirit since the I guess the Pochettino days, I guess was probably the last time I saw this. Even under Conte when we were doing well, when we got top four, there was something that's not quite there. But this, I think you can just see it the way they seem to enjoy the way they enjoy their goals and that sort of thing. I think and that's a big part of it. Playing with people that, I mean, everyone knows if they work with people they like as well, it makes it easy to work. So.
For sure. Brad, do you want to do a pigeon dance here for Phil? He wants everyone to do a pigeon dance on tonight. That's what we're talking about, doing the big Rich. We love it. Absolutely love it. But look, Brad, really appreciate your time on that coming on this evening, my man. Really do appreciate it. Just quickly, I want to ask you your thoughts on Tottenham signing Udogie down to a new long-term deal, and then we'll find out where people can find you.
Brilliant. No, I think that's a really good thing. And the fact that it makes you wonder whether that's how they do. Whether they sign the deals, the initial deals, and say, look, if you prove your worth, we'll get a better deal than that. Yeah, keep the guy at the club. I mean, people saying that Madrid and Man City were like favourites to get him before we went and got him. So, he's potentially going to be one of the best left backs in the league. And the way that Pedro Porro is playing at the moment as well, our two fullbacks. We haven't had anyone since Walker and Rose, but these two are doing a bloody good job of trying to do that. So yeah, and also lay off Romero, people. He's a really good defender, but you're going to have to put up with him doing that sort of thing. I think it's in his game. Yeah, it was a bad tackle yesterday. It really, even I was miles away, it looked bad, but. And this is why the transfer window is so important to get other centre backs in. So when he does, he gets suspended. It's going to happen every season probably. When he gets suspended, then we've got cover for him. It's not like it is at the moment where we lose two of our centre backs and suddenly it's like where are we sort of thing. Oh, and a big shout out to Heidi, the Norwegian lady I met yesterday, who's over from Norway, obviously, and also that really good bit of defending by Ben Davies in the first half.
Yes.
I thought that was really excellent because he's not quick, we know that, but he really made some ground to get that block in. So fair play to him. Yeah, look, it's not a first team player. Our first team will not have him in, but no, I think fair play to him what he did yesterday. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely. He was, do you know what? I'm his biggest critic and I praise him where praise is due, that if he didn't make that, the game could have easily ended up very different. And look, he was consistently solid all game. But look, Brad, Blue Sofa Songs, is that Christmas song up there?
Loose Over Songs. The Christmas song is out this Friday, hopefully. It's all recorded. I've got to finish some lyrics off actually. So it's like last year's Christmas song, bit of fun. Try and put a wacky film clip with it as well. But yeah, I mean, the last couple of songs, my last song was very, very serious, and I don't want to be very serious all the time. So please, on Friday, when it's uploaded, be out at 5 o'clock, hopefully. I won't be in on Friday, so I won't be able to sort of post it in all the WhatsApp groups. I'll have to do it on Saturday, but it'll be out on YouTube on Friday at 5 p.m. It's called Christmas in December, and it's it's a Christmas song, and hopefully it will get to number 2 in the charts, because I probably think that Fairy Tale of New York should be re-released and make the number 1 for this year. So
nice one.
Absolutely.
But cheers, guys. As always, thank you for
Thanks for getting us started, Brad. As always, appreciate you, sir.
It's always fun. I'm really hungry now, so I'm gonna. I think I've got some bacon and sausages in the fridge, so I'm gonna get those out and have a bit of some food. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the show, guys. Hello to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone in the chat, and just as I say, click the subscribe button to everyone that comes on that's got a channel, including mine. And thanks for everything, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Class as always, man.
Brad.
Come on,
later, Brad.
we never stop. Celebrate everything.
Celebrate
Brad,
everything.
if you're down there next week, get one of these and come on the fan show and join me with one of these.
Yeah, I might do that.
Love
done,
it.
Brad.
Love it. Well, Brad,
See you, sir.
have a good evening, sir. Tuck into a nice meal for champions, and we'll speak again soon, all right?
Take care, guys. Bye.
See you, Brad. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Everyone, big up Brad Matthews, absolute gent. Great to see him do the pigeon dance, letting loose, go for it. Absolutely love that. Love that. We'll have to clip that. That was absolutely brilliant. But look, we'll keep the show on the road. We'll keep it moving. The under-21s are still currently
Any
2-0
updates, Dave? Yeah, it's still
2-0
2-0.
Look, Sunderland had a chance right after half-time, Jack. It was a great opportunity, but it was an absolute great block by one of the Spurs players to get back there, sliding in. But yeah, it's
you were
still
the good
2-0.
luck charm, clearly, in that first half. You were the good luck charm, keeping your eyes on things in that first half.
Yeah, no, look, good first half, Jack. 2-0. We sort of creating chances, few balls over the top and stuff like that. Nothing really of note. But look, 2-0 up, which is always good. Just get the job done and get into the next round. But
Yes,
look,
sir.
let's keep it moving.
Keep it moving. I think it's the Tron. Is that right? Next, you're the chosen
Tron.
one. He claims to be the prophet.
Demoted him.
Oh, we've
He's
demoted
demoted
him
from the prophet, Jack. You can't be the prophet. You didn't want Richie playing yesterday.
Okay, so you introduce him, Dave. You introduce him with whatever title he needs.
Chosen one's apprentice. Let's bring him on.
Here he is. Chosen
Big
one's
up now, John. How you keeping, my man?
That's my answer to that. 2 fingers. Sorry about that. Anyway, how are you, lads?
Doing all right.
Are we all happy?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Good.
buzzing.
Look, if I'm your apprentice, then I will go down to apprentice. But I still said we wouldn't lose, and I was right on that. And I nearly got the scoreline right as well, by the way. If we didn't actually concede that stupid goal. But no, big up everyone. Hope everyone's all right. We all should be happy Spurs fans after that win. And
Do you know who's really sorry, Dermot. Do you know who's really the prophet? Since you do send in your prediction videos, it's actually Marlon Green. I think Dave and I started to realize that any prediction that guy makes, we have to sort of take seriously, because he's gotten the last few sort of right, it feels like. So whatever prediction he sends in, I get actually truly worried, because then I'm like, well, that seems like that's probably going to be the one. He might have won. I think he said like a 2-0 or a 3-0 actually against Newcastle or something like that. So he's almost in trying to take your prophecy title away from you, Tron.
Well, if he does, he does. I leave it up to the people how they view me. As long as they treat me with respect, I don't care what they call me.
Nice one. Well, what do you want to talk about first, sir? I mean, how did Spurs win that match, maybe? And what was sort of your highlight of the game? Who's your player that stood out to you the most?
Look, I have to hold my hands up and say Richarlison was my man of the match. I actually gave it to him yesterday in my watch along. I was so pleased for him. Absolutely over the mood for him. Look, I've been his biggest critic since he's joined the club. I feel he hasn't delivered on the price tag that we paid for him. But fair play to him yesterday. When we needed him, he was there. And I have to say, and fair play to all the team as well. We saw 11 players out there that would run through a brick wall for a manager. We didn't even see that on the Poch hardly at the end of it. We saw too many players giving up, not trying their best. And it was like Tottenham of old for me. I keep saying Ange brings me back to the 80s. That's how I felt watching us yesterday. I closed my eyes and at one point, and I visualized Glenn Hoddle out there and Graham Roberts and Tony Galvin running down the wing. And we've got a few other, Paul Miller in defence and Ray Clements in goal and Chrissy Houghton on the wing and Steve Perman as the both fullbacks and Archibald up front and Crooksey as well up front. And it brought me back to I was a kid, that game yesterday. And I haven't felt like that for a long time. And that's down to Ange. If you can't love this man anymore, you just love him more. We saw what he was up at Celtic, Dave. We know what he was like. And all these people that we've seen it in the chat. And
what do you make of the constant scrutiny around Postecoglou? Because, I did say this had happened in the summer. As soon as he starts losing games, everyone will start asking questions of him. I said that. Everyone said, no, it won't happen. Despite the caliber of football we've been playing, people went straight and started asking questions of Ange's tactics, this, that, and the other. What do you make of the scrutiny around him?
I think it's fans wanting success now. I think we've been starved for so long. People are getting impatient. And I think that's what it is. But you can keep chopping managers. How many times do we have to go down the manager route when it was the players? You look at Man United, and I've said it enough on my channel as well. Man United where we were 3 years ago or 3.5 years ago. You look at them, they're not playing for the managers and they keep sacking managers. And you can't keep doing that. Angie's in for a project. We have to let him do his job. We know what he can do. He's a winner. And everyone go, but what's he won? He's a winner. Arsene Wenger, he was a winner. When he came into the Premier League, Arsene who's this fella from Japan? Turned a lot down the road to the most successful period in their history. Ange can do the same for us. Ange is the reincarnation of Bill Nick and Arthur Rowe putting together. He has players running through brick walls for them. And that's what I love about it. And they're proud to wear the shirt. They're proud to wear the badge.
Speaking of the togetherness, I do think a part of that is, how do I say it, the lunacy of the team. You see Vicario going at Wilson after the game. Romero, he bodies people for other players and stuff like that. I mean, what do you make of the scrutiny around that? Mainly so Romero, who's probably the leader of that. For me, I think that madness is what brings them together. I think it's what you build something special up. Personally, the great Wimbledon team used to have that everybody hated. They got to FA Cup finals and stuff like that. What do you make of the constant scrutiny around Romero? Regardless, win or lose, people are just unhappy with him.
Leave him alone. Leave the man alone. He's one of our best defenders. Leave him alone. You take that aggression out of Romero, you won't have the same Romero. Was everyone complaining about Graham Roberts back in the day or Dave Mackay back in the day when they were the tough mans of the midfield? Was anyone complaining of Stevie Perriman getting in the crunching tackle? Football is today. It's for a game. Football today. I always found this, that football today is played by wimps. Football back in the day was played by men. You watch players now.
Not like Graham Souness now, Dermot Tron.
Yeah, but look, I'm true though. You look at players now in the Premier League, they touch them on the nose or they've gone down like they've been shot by Lee Harvey Oswald or they get a tackle in. You look back in the day, there was worse tackles back then than there is now. And players would just get up, dust themselves down and start moving and start playing again. Do you know, football is a physical game. There's going to be crunching tackles. There's going to be plays are going to go into one another. It's football. That's what the game is. And I feel that the modern game has become players are too protected now. Where years ago referees would let a slide tackle go or something like that. And Romero for me is a prime example. He's proud to wear the shirt. He's proud to wear the badge. He goes out there and he will give you 110%, win, lose, or draw. Yeah. And that's all you want for your play. I agree with Ugly Fish. I wouldn't swap Romero for any defender in the world. Sign him to a lifetime contract because I still think he's our future Spurs captain.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, though, Darbo. I'm going to just for the balance of the bet. People already know where I sit on it. But what if he continues getting like mad sending offs and continues to cost us in that department, this, that, and the other? Surely that's that's not sustainable either.
No, but you look at players in the past. You look, Vinnie Jones for Wimbledon back in the day, he was getting mad sending offs. You look at players through history. You look at players even now in the Premier League that get
Is
mad
he reckless,
sending.
like Liam says?
He's not reckless. No, I think the game has become reckless. If you know what I mean, they've made these tackles seem like they're reckless. They're not. Yesterday's tackle, that Romero's tackle yesterday, he slipped. You got to have referees and VAR to be sensible in these decisions. I mean, yeah, I'm 47 in February and a bit overweight, and probably my hamstring will go as well. But I would go in there and give it my all. All we ask is these players go out and give them everything. And I don't think Romero's reckless. I think he's an Argentinian hothead that he's passionate about the game. He's passionate about who he plays for. He wants to give his best. And sometimes players do go over that line. It's part of the game. But if you take that out of him, you haven't got the same defender. It's like watching players, when I was a kid, it's like asking Graham Roberts to take the passion out of his game. You wouldn't get the same Graham Roberts, or you wouldn't get the same Graham Souness. Asking him to calm down when he was in his heyday at Liverpool. It's like asking Vinnie Jones, calm your tackles down. Romero is Romero. Love him, hate him, disagree with him. He's our player, and we back our players to the hill, and we back him all the way because he's one of our own. He's our player. He's our Romero.
Recklessness aside and sort of like rashness aside, he's also easily one of the best center backs on the ball, I think, in the league. So what is also the point of even getting rid of him in that sense either? Because then you have to find somebody who I guess, you have to replace in terms of his defensive output and what he brings defensively. But he's also so terrific in possession. He's almost unpressable at times. And some of the passes he actually tries to make are passes that normally a midfielder would try to pull off to sort of break the lines of the opposition and get moves going. He's not sort of a sideways merchant of a center back. And that's my other issue that people don't seem to ever really recognize with Romero, is how good he is actually on the ball as well. So you'd have to try to find somebody who's as good as him on the ball, which is not easy.
He brings the ball out. He plays that Ange sort of football. You couldn't get that out of Dyer or wherever, bringing the ball out. Romero and Van der Ven bring the ball out. Davies, to be fair to him, does try it, and sometimes it doesn't work with him. And can I say, Davies yesterday played fantastic. I thought his positioning yesterday in the whole game was top notch. Look, Dave, you and me and Jack, we've all criticised him. I call him our James Milner sort of the Spurs squad. He's very professional.
He had a good game yesterday, but he's not James Milner in the Spurs squad.
Let me point before you start shaking your head, Dave. He will go out and give his all, good, bad, or ugly. He will try. If he has a good players around him, he does go up a bit. If he's got an Eric Dyer next to him, then you see the worst of him. I've seen him with Romero, and when he has Romero, Destiny, and Porro in that back three and Vicario, you see a better Davies. That's my opinion. If you got an Eric Dyer next to him, anyone would look bad because Eric Dyer's a load of trosh and he should be out of the club months ago. But I hope his injury never recovers, and I hope he gets sent back to Portugal on a first-class ticket with no return. But, I just feel Davies, for me, yesterday, his positional play was brilliant yesterday. He was spot on. And you got to give him credit when he plays well.
Look,
Phil Coy's saying one of the best games he's ever seen him play. Dave, would you actually agree with that when it comes to Davies? Was that probably one of the best games I've had in memory of him as a center back, in general? That was probably one of his best ever games as a center back.
For me, I think it was his best game ever in a Spurs jersey. But that doesn't make up for the 4 or 5 previous to that. That's my point. This is the problem with Davies. He'll have one worldie and then he'll have 4 or 5 stinkers. And if people want to make the same mistake off one performance, start thinking that's good enough, don't come back moaning to me when he's still here next season, costing us games when he has to step in then, for a period of time. Because I'm absolutely fed up with it. We keep seeing this with him. And look, no problem. Great performance yesterday. I sat there after the game. I praised him. I even praised him during the game. I'm not going to go as far as calling him the James Milner of
what I mean by that, Dave, and
he also had
you've-
one of the worst
carried away.
performances
Yeah,
I've seen from a Spurs left back in years. That first half he had against Crystal Palace was diabolical, him at left back, and he had to be replaced for Emerson in that game. And when he's played at center back, he's looked better, but there's also that, right, where he's maybe only shown to be good in that one position, or at least okay in that one position so far this season. But he was faultless, and I mean, you can't dig into him at all, like some people have pointed out, which is right. But I would say at the same time, like, to back up Dave, I mean, he's had howlers this season actually in other positions, especially at left back, I would say, this season.
I'm not getting carried away with one game. You know me well enough to know that I do criticize Davies and Dyer as well as you.
Yeah, I know.
And also, and why I use the James Milner thing is he's a squad player. He's not a starter. But if he does come in, he will try to do his best, good, bad, or ugly. Do you know? And if he's got good players around him, he will play better. When he's got crap players around him, he will play crap. Now, he was at fault. He got man of the match against Wolves. He was up fault for the Wolves goals. He was up fault for the Villa game. We will give him criticism when he deserves it. But yesterday he played well, and he deserves the credit that goes with that. It doesn't not just him. The whole team played well yesterday. The whole back five played well yesterday. And I just feel we've now gotten a squad that Ange can bring the best out of you. He will bring the best out of even a bad egg. He will bring the best out of them. And look, long may it continue. I love this Tottenham side. I love the way we're playing. I love the manager. I love the whole atmosphere around the club. It's just, we've been reborn under Ange. And I know I said it long enough. We will come out of this dark tunnel. Well, that dark tunnel is way behind us now. Way back in our review mirror. We're going along to the promised land, and Ange will take us there. I've got my club back. I've got the club I grew up and loved and adored. I've got that back, and I got my passion for Spurs back again. I lost it last season. I lost my passion for Tottenham. I've got it back now, and absolutely long may it continue. And Ange, if you are watching, you should be watching these boys. We love you. And we want you to stay forever. So come on, Ange. We'll
come on, Ange. Just quickly to everyone out there saying Davies is a good squad player. Not even going to get into tonight because he had a great performance yesterday. But where we're going is okay, good enough for you, especially when he comes in and we start losing results. Again, I think we're guilty of just praising. I'm not having a go at you, Dermot, before you start. I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying, okay is not good enough. The Celso, for instance, people said he was okay the last few games. Dropped like a hot snot as soon as we had options back. Clearly not the right answer, as good as everyone thinks. And we're starting to do the same old thing where we get guilty again, being fooled, and then next season will come around, we'll have a dip, and everyone wants to sack the manager again. Fed up with it. But anyway, Dermot, what's coming up on the channel, my man?
We've got a load of stuff. Just to give you a slight update, we are look, I'm hearing rumours. These are only rumours, but we are going to look to upgrade the centre back situation, Dave. So you may get your late Christmas wish there. There is a rumour around 10 million for the Galatasaray defender. Pardon?
Don't need one. Huh? Don't need one.
What? I didn't hear you. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Dave's being a good wind up.
Dave's being a good wind. I called him Davies. I called you Davies. Dave's being a good wind up. Dave's being a good wind up.
Dave's on the wind up again, you bugger. I didn't get what you said, mate. Sorry. But no, we're looking at the Galatasaray defender, 10 million. That's a good buy for a backup. And a few other bits and pieces. Yeah, if you want to hear what I have to say, you can join me, Philip, over in THFC till I die. We seem to be forever around 1,640. I'm getting so sick of it. Can we please get up to 2K? I want to move up in the world. So if you like what I have to say, and you enjoy a bit of banter and a bit of laugh and also some serious stuff as well, come over to THFC till I die. And you'll find me there and Philip there. And we've got 3 watch-alongs this week. We've got the 2 Champions League games we're doing this week. We've got the Forest game Friday. We've got the ladies' North London derby on Saturday morning, Saturday lunchtime for the ladies. So we're doing that as well. And then we've got all the Cockerel Clock podcast is back, the roundtable discussion as well. And hopefully over Christmas, on Christmas Day, Philip Brady is going to do the Godfather's Alternative King speech. So he's going to come on and do his own Christmas speech for all you Spurs fans. So that's something we've got planned. So at 3:00 on Christmas Day, you were tuned in to watch the Godfather.
Open your
himself.
windows. Philip Brady's voice will be echoing throughout
It
the
will
UK
be echoing all
and
around of Ireland
and around the world.
Yeah, and we've got loads of stuff coming up. So we've got loads of little goodie pre-records coming up. Doing the one with the boys up when I can tie them both down. Talking about 2023 as a Spurs fan, and also 2023 with Dave as well. If I can tie him down again for the Irish side as well, and we're going to have a bit of a moan and a groan.
Nice one, Tron.
And an anti-Kenny out. He was useless. Thank God he's gone. Bring on Big Sam to the Irish job. We will be back.
Please, everybody, check out THFC Till I Die. Follow over this man. You know, this prophet, whatever he might be, you know, this week, you know, please check him out. Really good to us. He's a good and nice man. Please show him some support. And I hope you have a good rest of your week, Mr. Tron. Yeah. And we'll probably see you very soon before the Forest game. But I hope you have a good rest of your week, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you, you two. And I will be sending in my nutty match day predictions that make you laugh. I'm as loony as ever. You're right, Phil P. You never beat the Irish. You never will. That was my motto. I'm still in by it. You never beat the Irish. But yeah, please like and subscribe for these guys up here as well. They're fantastic. Really good men of the people of the community. Top men. So love them to bits, the pair of them. Whatever you do, like and subscribe here. Let's get these guys to 15K by this time next year. They deserve it. Come on, you Spurs. And I'm now
big up Tron Vision.
Thank you, Tron.
Before I get chucked out, I'm going.
No, you'll never get chucked out, my man. We enjoy having you. I'm just on the wind up this evening. I'm in a great mood.
All I'm going to say is when I first saw Dave when I came in the back room, I just said, "Hello, Santa." That was my first words to him. He just reminds me of Santa Claus. So just bring me some nice presents this year, Santa, will you? 3 points.
All over that brings me all the tactical prowess, is what I would say, Darla.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm going. See you later.
But anyway, look, you know, report for duty at 9 a.m. tomorrow, being my apprentice, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, I'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. See you later, boys. Come on, you Spurs.
Tron. Have a good night.
You Spurs. Have a good one, my man. Have a good one. I love having Darwin Tron on. I love chatting to him. He's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The under 21 second half is just getting going.
Yeah, heard around the ground, Dave. What's going on?
No, not much. I don't know what's going on right now. It's getting going slow there at the minute. But look, let's keep it going. Okay. Let's bring on the one and only Shawnee Maddox. Let's hear what he has to say. Shawnee, how you keeping, brother? How's things? Oh, you're on mute.
You muted yourself, Shawnee.
Spurs Christmas jumper as well, Jack. You're
it's Spurs sweater. It's Spurs Christmas sweater. Nice one, Shawnee.
Yeah, I was saying it's going well. Again, I saw Dave's hat and I was like, you know, I got to pull out the Christmas jumper. Because I was going to throw a sweater of some kind on. So it was like, you know, I might as well.
Did you get that one this year, last year?
Ooh, I got this, I think, 2 years ago. This is the one I think Sonny was modeling on the site. I just saw Sonny in the Spurs sweater of the Penguin, and I was like,
I think Kulu was modeling them this year. Kulu's modeling them this year. Maybe they sell more when Sonny's modeling them.
I mean, I'd buy anything that Sonny was modeling, so I just got that infectious smile.
That he does. Sticking on Sonny, let's stick to him. What do you make of him down the left-hand side yesterday? Look, I made the argument sort of Saturday evening that we lose 50% of what Sonny can really offer us through the middle, you know, unless we play counter-attacking football, which would actually, if we play counter-attacking football, I think Son would probably bag 30 goals a season because he's good with making them and timing them runs in behind. I feel like when teams sit low block against us, he comes out and looks for everything for feet. And I think Son also alluded to it, if anyone wants to still call me crazy, I think Son alluded to it after the game in the post-match interview yesterday, talking about the movement that Richarlison just has that better movement in the box, which is something I also alluded to. So where are you at with it? Because Son is our top scorer. There is still a case for him to be made to play down the middle. But what do you do? Where is Son's best position in this lineup?
Again, I think Son is phenomenal in both positions, but I think I've been kind of calling out is no one else has stepped up in that left wing. So it's kind of more of Son's the only player on our team that reliably can go at people on the dribble, beat his man, and send that ball in, which is what Ange wants from his wingers, and we haven't seen. I mean, I think at one point we were talking about, oh, should Richarlison start? Should Messi start? Who should start on that left wing? And again, the thing was, everyone is so underwhelming prior to kind of Son coming back there. There just isn't a good option where, and again, Richarlison, it looked pretty good central. Honestly, I thought he played fine when he was on that left wing. Again, you have more of a presence in the box. But I think what we were missing most was Richarlison is the best presser of the ball in that front, in our team. And I think we saw that when he came in, the timing of that press was a lot tighter, because there were some of those games where we were struggling. The coordination had kind of dropped off a little bit, where maybe Johnson on the left was a little late on the press. And again, if not everyone presses, it doesn't work. And I think as soon as we see Richarlison coming back in the team, as soon as we see Pape Medasar come back in that team, the quality of that press was so much higher. Because again, a lot of our goals came from winning that ball and maintaining it in the other half. And that's part of the defense as well of Ange ball. If we have the ball and we're defending or keeping it in their half, they aren't running at our defenders. Because again, a lot of the times we were forcing them to go long, and then we were winning it because they didn't have enough guys to compete with our back line.
Just on that, do you think the midfield presence also helped to that? Because I also think that's something that was missing, was the follow-up press behind them in the last few weeks, where Kulu got up, whereas maybe Lo Celso wasn't. Pape Matar, look at the ball he turned over. Brennan Johnson nearly scored off the back of his. Did that help massively to the press as well? Because I do agree with you, the press has been uncoordinated for the last few weeks for sure.
Well, yeah, I think that helped. Again, it felt like in some of the previous games we didn't quite have the right balance of midfield. Again, you put Basuma and Hojbjerg next to each other, and they both want to play a little bit deeper. So we're just not as pushed as far up the pitch. And again, that's the nice thing about Sarr, is he covers a lot of ground, but it is also pushing up a bit higher. And then again, I think Kulu kind of we've seen is that his best position is in that cam role. I think he's a little more effective because he gives that physicality, and really he's probably the best cam at pressing. Although Madison's was really good at that of putting that pressure there, but with him out of the team, we didn't have that kind of fourth guy on the press going forward, and I think Kulu's added a lot there. And again, Johnson's looking more comfortable on the right. We saw a few times where he's beaten his man on the dribble, like I think he tore Vardiol a new one in that City game, where he kind of blew past him, and we need to see more of that. But again, I think that what we saw was with Son on the left, Richarlison in the center, and Brennan on the right was probably the most effective front three we've seen this season.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I was absolutely very exciting to watch. I felt like every time we've gone forward, we look like scoring. I definitely 100% agree with that. I want to ask you a question that we haven't really asked anybody else this evening so far. Pedro Porro, I mean, the stats are being banded all around Twitter today. I would argue, I sort of was on it yesterday before the game with the stats about Porro being as good as Trent Alexander-Arnold from that right-back position offensively, and after the game as well. So, again, I think everyone's a bit too late. You're all sleeping, But where are you at with it, Shawnee? Is Pedro Porro one of the best right-backs in the league? There's been a lot of questions asked about him, especially with the start he got off to over the summer. Could he adapt from right wing back to right back? There was questions about, is he as good going forward as we all think he is? Where are you at with Pedro Porro? Am I getting over the top with him? Is he one of the best right backs in the league?
No, I mean, I think he's making a stronger argument. Again, we've seen him get better and better defensively. I think he's learning kind of where to position himself. And again, it helps when you have Romero back, because Romero and Vicario organize that defense. Because again, when you had Davies there, Davies is not the best positionally, he sometimes will drift out of position. So when you have Romero or someone really organizing in the back, they can make sure that back line is kind of where it's supposed to be. So I think that helps a lot. But again, I think some of the pundits were pointing it out in some of the post-match stuff is what you see is with Porro is he's moving into midfield a lot of that time, like where he's taking that assist from. You're seeing the same thing from Udogie on that. And that was a problem we had a lot under that Conte system, was we would be outnumbered in midfield because a lot of the top teams were doing that. That's where you see Trent moving into with Liverpool's on the attack. That's where Reece James likes to operate when he's healthy. Unfortunate to see him down again. You never really want to see that from any player, even if they're playing for the opposition.
We'll open up the conversation for Pedro Porro. Oh, I think I'm echoing a little bit. Or I guess it's gone away. But yeah, I think Reece James' injury opened up the conversation for Pedro Porro to step in, because it was always him versus Trent, and now it's Pedro versus Trent. So he's taken over that role. He stepped in, and as he should. On some players, like maybe, I'm not sure if we've spoken enough about Pape Matar Sarr today. Some are saying he was the answer. He was actually the missing piece, this whole time in that midfield. Would you agree with that, Sean, or do you think it's just, maybe just a great performance from everyone?
Well, I think what I would say is we were missing that skill set. If you kind of look at what he's really good at, that's actually what Benacor's really good at. And that's what we were seeing for the 30 minutes that Bentancur was healthy this season before he kind of got taken out in the game, was essentially that willingness to push forward, but also the skill to kind of have that physicality to apply that press and really cover that distance, but also just to have that forward pass as well. And again, I think Lo Celso's close to that, but he doesn't have quite as much explosiveness, doesn't cover quite as much ground. So again, I think he really kind of fills that hole that we were missing with Bentancur.
Do you think some even said today that with Sarr, like I heard someone in the chat say, like, Bissouma only plays well when Sarr is in the midfield. Is it just that everyone plays better with Sarr in the midfield, but Bissouma play better if it were Bentancur? Like, is it Hojbjerg that's the problem? Is it Lo Celso that's the problem? What do you think?
I think, and again, this is a point I think some pundits I saw were talking a few weeks ago, and it was really just that Hojbjerg and Bissouma don't work well together in that midfield because they're both trying to sit deep and occupy kind of that sixth space. So we don't have as much of a presence in terms of carrying that ball forward. Okay. But I mean, the other thing I'd say is, like, when Maddison was in the team, and when that was kind of when Bissouma was looking at his best, is Maddison could also drop back to advance that ball, which freed Bissouma up because then he didn't have three guys marking him because someone had to peel off to watch Maddison. So I think that as we have more threats and guys capable in that midfield of advancing that ball, then I think Bissouma will be able to play a little bit better because he'll have a little more space.
I mean, it could be the case that Bissouma and Hojbjerg are sort of almost like competing for possession, competing for that sort of role in that deeper space, like you say. And if there are two players that are kind of more or less trying to do the same thing, you might be missing out on another sort of type of dynamic role that might be needed in that midfield, which is probably what Pape Matar Sarr is doing so well, where he's tracking back and helping us out defensively, but he's also the legs going forward that maybe Hojbjerg can't always be, or Bissouma can't always be either. Because even there was a game where we did give like Bissouma a bit more of a role going forward, or a bit more of a role higher up the pitch, and it also felt like it just didn't seem right. It wasn't really working as well. So
yeah. We've been struggling to find the right balance in that midfield, especially since Maddison's gone out of the team. Yeah. And this last game, it was looking more balanced than we had seen it. And again, I think that's just because we needed that Bentacore-like skill set, which really, I mean, Papa Metasar, we've been calling like a little Basuma, but he's really more of a little Bentacore in terms of his style of play is much closer, I think, to that.
Look, I don't disagree with too much of that. I actually don't disagree with too much of that at all. Just quickly, what's your thoughts, Shawnee, on Udogie signing a new contract? You happy for the kid?
I mean, he's the best left back in the league. I don't know how you could be unhappy with that. Again, because the way he's playing, the big clubs are going to come knocking, and we're going to be fighting Madrid to slam the door in their face and tell them piss off. That he's not going anywhere because he's been that good. Again, I think most fans would agree. It's hard to find an example of a left back who's been playing better.
I'm trying to think. I heard June suits up Bell. I got a suits up Bell notification earlier, Dave. Did you pick up on that? Did suits up Bell score or something like that, or no?
Maybe I'm a little bit behind. He just had a really good chance there. He probably should have scored there. Maybe I'm a couple of seconds behind it. He scored it. Maybe it's the one from earlier on today, Jack, when he sold it by the players.
It was just from Lily White Rose. You know, he had a notification that just said Jude is what it said. So I just figured he must have scored or something. I figured he must have scored or something. And I was
no, still 2-0. Still 2-0.
Okay,
still 2-0. But we're absolutely balling out. I mean, should be actually fucking about 7 or 8-0 by now, to be honest with you.
I agree with Sean, though, lastly, on Udogie. Like, I agree with Sean. I think it's almost like we've done it because we know that he kind of is probably the next up-and-coming best left back in the world, basically, and, you know, have to keep that sort of type of talent. Very difficult for teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, etc., to, you know, put their hands on and, you know, steal them away for the cheap, right? So it's clever by Spurs, I think, and it's necessary. Probably might even have to do that with a few other players like Sarr and as well as I would even say who else is quite young that we've just signed. I'm trying to think of somebody else, but yeah,
Romero
plenty of these players. Romero
would not be picked up. You know, there's plenty of players there. Porro. I just hope we can actually keep them on to keep the bigger clubs' mitts off them this time. You know, because when we built that stadium, the whole idea was to be able to keep the likes of Harry Kane here, keep the likes of Sonny here. Being able to keep Sonny here, haven't been able to keep Kane here. So hopefully we'll be able to keep this batch together because I'm sick of talking to squads being pulled, the best parts of it being pulled apart, and we're left with the shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, spot on. Sorry. I think you're spot on, Dave. Absolutely. Any final words from yourself there, Shawnee, before we let you go? Anything that we didn't get to let you talk about?
No, just a shout out to Richarlison and how well he's playing. Again, there was a lot of talk about kind of him playing through that injury, which is frustrating. I think you kind of talked about this earlier, but it's kind of what is going on with our medical staff that all of our players seem to be injured and not being treated. And it seems like it's kind of more to a degree, it's kind of, if the player is at like 60% most of the time, the performance is suffering enough that you're better off getting them healthy and trying to, but again, our med staff doesn't keep our players healthy. So there's some frustration. So I'm hoping that we can kind of see Richarlison start to turn a little bit of a corner and kind of put in consistent performances. Because again, our forward line has looked best when he has played this season. Yeah. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Even when he wasn't playing in the back of the net, it's just that work rate in the press that starts the attack and creates those dangerous
Were you pigeon dancing?
I was pigeon dancing quite frequently and prepared to do quite a bit more. As again, I think we will see him score at least 10 to 12 goals this season.
Hoping for some more pigeon dancing. I like it. So that means, Sean, hopefully you'll be practicing in the mirror, you know, before the Forest game, and we'll all be pigeon dancing. I love that. Love that.
Well, what I would say is Richarlison also got in contact. Officially, me and Jack are judges of the best Richarlison pigeon dance. So do you want to sign out with a pigeon dance, Shawnee? We'll score it.
Okay, let's
Good sport.
Oh, different style to that. I do like
Working
that.
on
I'd
it a
say
little
that's
bit.
solid 7.
Facial expression as well, like on it, Dave.
Oh,
He's
I
kind
love
of,
it.
you know, he's kind of scrunched the face, you know, do a bit of a pigeon face as well.
No,
Yeah,
you-
like say,
I
8 out
need
of
to
10.
practice a little more, but we're getting close. Again, if he scores a few more, we'll really be kind of well
Arms
versed.
as well.
That was the problem.
8 out of
was
10 on
we
the
were
arms. 8
so
out of 10.
ready for that pigeon dance at the beginning of the season, and he hit every possible spot except the goal. I mean, the amount of times he like hit the post or goal line clear, just how unlucky he was to a degree on some of those. Because again, he gets into position, he usually takes a pretty smart touch, and then he just hit the post so many times. So it was nice to see it kind of finally go in. You can only be unlucky for so long.
Yeah.
So I'll keep practicing that pigeon dances. I think we'll need it a
I
bit
like
more.
the arms that you used with it. I
Oh,
need
it's
to do
brilliant. It's brilliant. But look,
Yeah, get the wings
hopefully-
out.
Love it. Love it. Look, hopefully Richie now can use that as a confidence builder and backs it up against Forest Friday night. But Shawnee, big yourself up, my man. Great call as always. Always enjoy listening to your takes when you come on and how you see the game, my man. Thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs. We'll speak again very, very soon.
Yep, sounds good. See you on
Have a good
Friday.
one, sir. Have a good week.
See you, Shawnee. Have a good week, my man. Have a good week. Oh, definitely got to give that. I'm going to give it that good solid 8 because Sean says as well, I didn't think it was open for improvement, but he says it is. So, we'll give him a good 8.
Not about
Two
the
to
arms.
improve.
Never
was a
thought
great
that was
pigeon.
never thought you could do the arms, Dave. Never thought about that. Quite silly. I've been limiting, my pigeon dancing to just, the neck muscles, and I need to start bringing in the arms instead,
Oh,
or with that as well. Make it a bit more of a complete pigeon dance.
that was absolutely brilliant. He's going
Good
to have
sport.
to
He's a good
start
sport for
charging
that as well.
lessons. And everyone else has to do it. We need one from Daniel and from Felix as well before we let them go. So they better get practicing. Big up, Neil Thomas. Good to see you, new YouTube member.
Rabbit
Big
Flat
yourself
Cap
up, my man.
membership. Big up to you, Neil Thomas. Thank you, sir. And then he's also saying, "Evening, Dave and Jack. Great show, boys. Come on, you Spurs." Thank you for the support, Neil. That really does help a lot. And also, welcome to the Flat Cap Army. You already were a part of it, like everybody is, but we appreciate you, making it even more official and helping to support the channel. Just today, you can hear me bragging about, my position in the fantasy league. If you want to catch up on that, also as well. We put out different other sort of kind of content for kind of the members only. Do our pre-match thoughts exclusive to the members only. Usually try to put out one extra video as well, kind of from the podcast on sort of a random question or two. And also Dave, sends out questions, now and again as well to the members. So you just get to be sort of closer to everybody, and as well maybe even more sort of recognizable, in kind of the list of names and everything like that, around the channel. So just brings you closer to everybody.
Yeah. And it's only at a base level as well, so it's only going to get better from there, season in, season out. I'm trying to devise the right formula, to keep you guys happy and give you your own content outside of what you already see us do live and stuff like that. So big up, Neil. Welcome back to the community, my man. Really do appreciate the support. And to everyone else out there, why not follow in Neil's footsteps? We don't have any big wigs behind us whatsoever. We just purely do everything off our own back and stuff like that. And look, I know you guys, if you do enjoy the vibes on the watch-alongs and during the week and stuff like that, why not become a part of our community? I won't say cult, we don't want to make it like that, but our community, come and be a part of it.
Thank you, Neil. And I knew that you were definitely with us, plenty of times before. 1 year and 8 months, my friend. Thank you, sir. That's very, very generous of you, my man. And everybody that's been a member for any length of time, we do appreciate it because we know that you really do have to go out of your way, click the link, and end up, getting whatever subscription that you want. And we just appreciate anybody that does do it. And like I say, I think it just gets you a little bit closer to everybody and helps us sort of, see your name sort of stick out a bit more, in the comments and in the chat and everything like that. But anybody that's been a member, we do really appreciate it. Top man, Neil. And I know you've been with us a while, but 1 year and 8 months. I mean, what is that, Dave? So that'd be 20 months if I'm not mistaken then. Big up, Neil.
Fed mats in school, don't ask me, but big up, Neil. It's in and around 20 months. Absolute legend. That deserves a salute. We give everyone, over 10 months. Well,
Salute to
actually,
your
we give
service,
everyone a
Neil.
salute. The support is very, very important. So big yourself up, Neil. My man, big yourself up. But look, I suppose we'll keep it on the road. Let's keep it going. Who have we got next? Daniel
Head out to
Larson, are you
Norway.
there, sir?
Daniel Larson time. There he is.
He is. Just had the camera off practicing his pigeon. Stuart Reed quickly says, get Richie on Strictly to teach the pigeon dance. 100%. Definitely need that to happen, my man. But we haven't spoke to this guy in a while. Let's bring him on. Let's hear
Good
what
to
he
have
has
him
to
back.
say. Daniel, how you keep
Hey,
yourself?
Daniel.
Hello. How are
Good
you?
to see you. Good to see you back,
See you
man.
guys again. Yeah.
How's
Very
work?
happy
How's
mood.
life? Everything good?
Hard. Not hard. A lot. I can say.
Working a lot.
That's
Yeah.
But hey,
Well,
we keep going.
Well, amongst all that work, did you get to watch the game?
Yes, of course. Watch the game. Oh my god. Amazing.
best performance of the season, some people have said. Would you go that far?
Yeah. I think so. Especially throughout the whole match, I would say. And I would say like the best, especially best maybe second half as well. Kept going.
First
So,
90-minute performance.
Yeah, first whole round, best performance. Yeah,
Mm.
best in. I mean, everyone was good as well. So there's not one player that was bad either. So
Who stood out the most, though? Look, everyone's getting accolades, and rightly so. It was a great team performance. But in your opinion, who stood out the most for you?
Pedro.
Why?
No, he just everything he does just golden right now. Like he's defending again, won every tackle he challenged, and the pass for the assist, and just the nutmeg on one of the players as well. Just everything he does now is just insane.
That was filthy, that nutmeg. Jack enjoyed that.
Yeah, he was. I think that was the young kid as well. So I was like, that child abuse.
I think Joe Linton must have got megged like 10 times in that game. The poor guy. He was just getting megged left and right. I feel like he was the one involved in every single meg compilation from it. And Spurs were really just sort of exuding confidence, throughout the game, right? Where they just started having that sort of swagger on the ball that I think is, justified with how well we're playing. But my frustration in recent games, Daniel, was we kind of were trying to play like that when we were only 1-0 up at times. Like we started kind of, passing it around, nice, sort of dazzling flicks and tricks and things like that. But we ended up then getting sort of punished for it, or making just sort of the game in general not as easy or not as kind of not as stressful as it should be. Or, the other way around, where we made it more stressful than it should be. It was just nice to see Spurs really push for that second. And like you say, go for a 90-minute performance.
Much better now with of course crossing inside the box instead of just trying to pass it in. And against West Ham, I felt like we were just trying to create, like, just walk it in. So it's nice to see something different, especially now Richie on top, Sonny on the wing. So, and that's what people say. Oh, Postecoglou doesn't change. Well, he did, didn't he? That was changed. He changed team around. You can still play that way, but you can still, different personnel. So that, for me, that's different tactical. So people say he's one man plan A type of guy now. He's got more to his sleeve, dude. Don't worry about it.
No, look, I definitely agree. He's he does change things up. He's tried different things, different players on the right, the left, up front, players in midfield. Yeah, obviously some forced through injuries and stuff like that. But look, he has made changes for sure. Definitely agree with that. What do you think of the narrative that was starting to surround him on that sort of tough sort of period? Do you think it was fair?
Say it again.
The narrative that was sort of formed around Postecoglou, the questions were starting to be asked. Do you think that was fair?
No, come on. How can you question this man? I just don't understand. As soon as something happens, a little bit of bad pass, oh my God, it's the manager. Why? Stop this. Haven't we learned now? Have we not learned? Please. Maybe there's some players, that just when they start, they're just not good enough. Maybe.
Definitely agree with that.
Can we stop this?
Of course,
Daniel, I love that.
Yeah, but of course, not completely out of blame. But how much can you do? When you got shit. I mean, bench we had recently, it's been awful. So
Yeah.
Dave's had that sort of reaction with the Romero tackles, where I think any single Romero tackle that, it seems to be blown out of proportion. Dave's now just had this sort of just like, can we just stop this, sort of approach where I think Dave just, will just exit himself, from, just to check back in later, when you're talking about something else, sort of thing. And I could see where it's become exhausting, and to be blaming the manager. I think when we've seen us, sacrifice 1-0 leads, defensive, with defensive approach, conservative approach, and we were sacrificing 1-0 leads now under an attacking and, very progressive approach. I just felt like it was exhausting to then start blaming the manager. It's like we've seen, we've seen the same things under different managers, different tactics, and completely agree, Daniel. Daddy Sar, you were saying, I remember Dave, sorry, I keep interrupting. What are you about to say?
No, sorry. I was just going to say just quickly on this one from Neil. He says, I think Johnson has got something brewing for Spurs fans. He scored a couple that didn't count. He hits the post, etc. The lad has got goals coming. Would you agree with that with Brennan Johnson? Because he's had sort of really had a mixed bag of appearances so far this season. There is some bright sparks in him, 100%, but then there's been some sort of god-awful games like the West Ham sort of game. I mean, where are you at with Brennan Johnson?
Well, give him time. This guy, I think, is going to flourish when he just settles in, really. I mean, he's just been there for like 2 days, basically, still. So, but I just think right now his final third needs to improve, like his crossing, his finishing, even though, like, it's unlucky, those 2 that hits posts. I mean, that's just unlucky, to be fair. But, like, his dribbling and his speed, especially now, his stamina and speed is improved, in my opinion, especially for Newcastle. I thought he was excellent at that. So just his final third at this point, and maybe linking up a little bit better. But I think he's going to come good. So I'm not worried about him, to be fair.
Definitely has a lot more time anyway. Jacko, what did you want to ask about, sir?
I just remember Daniel in the live chat. You said Daddy Sar a few times. Is he becoming your
No.
new midfielder, your new favorite?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Daddy Sar. It was Daddy Pedro. But
Daddy Pedro, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But Daddy Sar as well. I mean, my God, I'm gonna have a little bit of a brain fart here, because I just thought when he started at the season, I thought that would maybe just like purple patch. I didn't think he could continue. But after he's been gone now for a while and coming back and just being the best midfielder, I just know he's just fucking good. He's just a really good player. I mean, he just ran the show. And he doesn't tire. I've never seen a player just run for days.
Never stops running. That's actually agree. I see a bit of a player I really like always has been for Everton, Doucouré. And I think Doucouré, just because he never stops running, I feel like the guy is just constantly running about, closing things down. And Sar has a bit of that, where just the legs and the ground that he can cover, and just the fact that he really almost can never be accused of walking around the pitch or anything like that. The guy is just ridiculous engine and work rate. Daddy Pedro, though, on him, in the beginning of this season, Daniel, I think I even said to you, right? We were doing one of those fan shows where it was like, what's your preseason sort of predictions? And I gave you a bunch of questions. My big theory was, if there was going to be a player that might, not work out this season, I thought it actually was going to be Pedro Porro. I thought he was going to struggle maybe this year. And I mean, I've been proven well wrong, and I've been, one of the many that have been forced to join his prison. So what are your thoughts on Mr.
Yeah,
Pedro?
I mean, if you look at my if you bring up my name, you can see I'm joined the prison anyway. But there, Pedro prison. There you go.
I remember that. Bringing that back. Well done, sir. Well done.
Because I was the same. I was the same. I thought he was going to struggle hard, but he's proved everyone wrong, to be fair. So, and for me, he's been player of the season so far.
Yeah, most consistent player. I think him and Sar have been the most consistent players for me, Daniel, so far this season. I mean, their levels have never dropped.
And Destiny as well, to be fair. I think
Destiny as well. Yeah.
What you make from signing that new deal? Happy?
Yeah.
There we go. That's our left back for the next God knows years. Unless Real Madrid something comes calling, of course. You never know. But that's also he's been here for I know he's on loan last season, but he's been here for 6 months and he's already signing a new deal. That just means he loves the club and he trusts the project, and he's believing everything that we're gonna succeed with Ange and everything. So it's just a huge positive all around.
I also think it's true by Tottenham. It means, if one of the big clubs come calling, which eventually I think they might at some point, slap 100-odd million price tag on him, you know, this, that, and the other. So, you know, it definitely benefits us in that regard because he's definitely gathering a lot of attention.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for me, he could play right now for any team. He's for me, especially in the Premier League, best left back. I mean, how old? 21, and he's so people just bounce off him when they try to tackle him.
Yeah.
Do we have the
so
best
to say,
right back and left back in the league?
right now? Yeah, and that's not delusional. That's just facts, in my opinion.
Mm.
I mean, Trent maybe has been a little bit. Again, if Trent did what Pedro's done, my God, people will be wanking over to the new year. You know.
Yeah. I try and say it in nicer terms, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think that's often the case with certain Spurs players where they almost have to do twice as much just to get the attention that, you know, guys for Man United, Liverpool, Man City do. Like a guy scores a worldie for Man United, you're going to see it, you know, cast around the internet and, you know, talking about, you know, everywhere. Whereas a guy scores a worldie for Spurs, I don't know, maybe he gets a bit of a mention, you know, or something like that. Or even some of our players like, you know, Destiny Udogie and Pedro Porro and those sort of guys, like they really don't get much sort of attention at all, really, outside of Tottenham. And, you know, and it's just because I think nobody wants to give these guys, you know, really that praise or that support because it's not Man United, it's not Chelsea.
Yeah, it's so bizarre because last night as well with Vicario did that face and that becomes a huge like thing, still talking about it. What the hell? Why are you talking about this?
You gotta love Big Vic for that though, man, right? You gotta love Big Vic.
I love it because Pedro got absolutely bodied by Joelinton, and that was like I saw it again. He wasn't even attempting to go for the ball. He almost fucking killed him, and nothing was never talked about that. But as you know, a little face, a little, you know, don't understand. I just don't get it.
Well, Bruno Gomes is 2-footed tackle on Papa Matasar either, you know. No big discussion around that after the game either. Sick of it. Because the more they carry on with this agenda, because Gary Neville, I believe, straight away was on it, red card all day long. I'm not even entering the debate this evening. If people want to come and talk about it, fine, but you're talking at me because you won't get anything back from me on it. But look, all it does is then puts it in referee's mind. The longer this debate goes on, all it keeps doing is put it in referee's mind, and every time he makes a channel, I will scrutinize it. It's all it's doing. I'm absolutely fed up with it. But Daniel, last question. Not last question. Pigeon dance.
Sure, you need a drink first, Jesus.
I agree. Oh yeah, good neck. Good neck there, Dave. He did a bit of a 360 rotation on the neck, you know, did a bit of a twirl as well. Everybody's being a good sport about this. They're actually raising the standards, I think, of the next person and then the next person plays. I really got to get into it. You can't pigeon out now. You can't chicken out of doing this. Everybody, and also, I love it.
Yeah, also with the way I've talked about Richie, I deserve that. He deserves that from me. So
that's nice of you, Daniel. That's nice. That's
nice.
And big him up, by the way.
Yeah.
Richie, big him up. Because
just quickly, how many games would you give him through the middle? Because look, we've been here before with Richie. He scored, but he hasn't been able to sort of back it up. And if he doesn't back it up against Forest, and even if we still get over the line, how long do you give Richie up front before you move Sonny back in if it's not working?
I'd give him the month. Definitely. Give him the month. But yeah, it's hard. I think he's gonna do well though. I think so.
You think he'll back it up at Forest?
Yeah, I do think so. I do think so. But it's hard though. I mean, I don't know how Forest play. They play with low blocks. I don't know to prefer, but I definitely Sonny out and left has been more what's it called?
Influential, maybe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So definitely, if he can have, but yeah, give him. And I think, knock on wood, he's gonna do well. Because if he doesn't have confidence now, then he can never have confidence. To be fair, so.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. But Daniel, absolutely solid pigeons skills, my man. You're definitely running Shawnee close. I think I'll give you an 8 as well, my man. But big yourself up. And look, we'll speak again soon. Make sure you come and see us before Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
I will see.
Great call as always, Daniel. It's good to have you back, man. And
Thank you. Yeah,
sorry
great
that
to be
work is
back.
busy and life is busy, but we hope to see you as much as we can. So hope to see
That's
you back
like
soon.
I was just gonna say one more thing about Romero.
Yeah.
People and here I went before bed last night. I went on the stream, and the first thing I hear, we need to sell Romero. He's not. I mean, and I just like, this is why I don't stay. This is why I don't go on YouTube, except for here. What the hell? What? Sell one of the best centre backs just because oh my god, it makes me completely mental.
Mm.
And saying Davies is more reliable.
Yeah, that I'm not sure about that. But look, reality is, whether I agree with it or not, everyone else is entitled to their opinion, I suppose.
Yeah,
Look,
I
Daniel,
suppose to.
big
Even they're
yourself
wrong.
up, my man. Appreciate you calling in again. Hopefully, they lay off with the busyness and give you a nice Christmas break, my man. And we'll speak again soon, all right?
Come on, you Spurs. See you guys.
Come on, Spurs.
Come on, you
See you
Spurs.
soon.
Great call, Daniel, as always.
Thank
Class
you.
call. Appreciate
Thank you very
sir.
much. Have a good
See you
night.
soon, my man.
See you
Everybody, big up Daniel in the chat. Absolutely great calling and great pigeon dancing. You can tell he's been practicing that for quite some
Rotation
time.
all the way
Randomly
around, Dave.
nicking.
Did the
Loves
rotation,
it.
a lot of chest movement, a lot of neck power behind it as well. We love to see it. And great spontaneous question as well to sort of do to people at the end of the show. I love it, Dave. Really love it. Any updates on the under 21s?
No updates. Still 2-0. So no updates yet, unless I've fallen behind again. But no, 2-0. What I will say is Donny's been absolutely sensational in terms of his passing and stuff like that. We just anytime we do get near the box, Sunderland just seem to sort of crowd out the likes of Sun Bell, Santiago, and Will Lancashire. But Donny's been absolutely superb, orchestrating that midfield tonight so far. And the defense have done very well as well. A couple of times they put their bodies on the line, but really we should be absolutely smashing them. But 2-0 up, and we'll stay top of the group, which is what we always want with about 10, 20 minutes left to go. But look, let's keep this moving. Now, just quickly, Neil says, spot on, Jack. I don't mind them understanding us. It means we all get a smile when they have to watch us in despair and wishing they had them. Absolutely spot on, my man. Big up,
Nice
Neil.
one, Neil.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Look, let's keep it moving. The next guest is the one and only Felix. Felix, you ready, big man?
No, Dave. I think we had to switch up the order a little bit. So Ellie has just joined us, but she needs to quickly go on to another show. So Ellie's going to be next, and then it's going to be Mia, and then Felix has been kind enough to go last now. So Felix is going to be last. So we're going with Ellie.
He wants to come on last and gloat about being a champion. That's what it is. Nah, fair play to him.
Champions get to go last. Grace enough
credit
to go
where
last.
credit's due. You always got to give the guys credit when they step aside and let people jump ahead of them. When it's need be, it doesn't always happen. So it's very nice when people do allow it to happen. So big yourself up, Felix, on that. That big credit. Ellie, you there, my dear? We going camera off today. Let's get it on.
Camera off today. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, sounded great.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, basically, I just wanted to come on a little bit early because I've got another stream to go on, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the Newcastle game. So it's an exciting time, isn't it? 4-1, bloody hell! What a great result. Oh,
did we get the revenge we needed?
Sorry.
Did we get the revenge we needed from last year's result against them, Ellie?
Yeah, I think we should have scored another couple. I think rubbed it in a bit in their noses. You know what I mean?
I like your attitude.
And then Lloris could have come on and done a French dance or something.
French dance apology.
Keep Lloris furthest away from the team as possible. Ellie, a lot of standout performances.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Kept us in the game at the start. Son, of course, probably many people's man of the match. Richarlison coming in, scoring a brace. Papa Matassar showing why we've missed him. Kulu down the middle. Absolutely. Yeah. Who stood out most for you? Who do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about Porro. I love him. I think he's fantastic. His passing of the ball is immaculate. That ball that he did to Richie was absolutely sublime. He works like a Trojan. He tracks back to cover the defensive work as well. We all know, right, that his game is more attacking, right? But he's been very competent at the defensive side. And I'm not going to dig him out like a lot of other fans have. with his defensive side, because I don't think he's particularly lit a stand defensively. There's been an odd occasion where, you know, the ball's flown over his head, but he's only 5'10", the poor sod. He's not a
Ellie,
6-foot sewer.
Let me ask you on that. Do you think it's unfair? Because Trent Alexander-Arnold's defensive deficiency have been shown up time and time again, and he still gets caught. But Pedro Porro has adapted, even though there was questions asked about it.
Yeah, I think so, because what I see with my eyes is really good, and what I see in the stats, well, people feed me these stats. I believe them because it's coming from very reputable sources, right? So. He's apparently second best in the stats in defensive duels and everything. So but I'm more. A lot of people, right? They judge people by their eyes, and I do as well. But when you've got to prove something by stats, you do. But sometimes you can't, because stats can be very deceptive as well in a lot of areas. You can
manipulate stats to whatever way you want them to suit your argument, really.
Like I was having a shindig with Hojbjerg stats with Mia earlier this evening, but we came to a resolution like me and Mia always do, right? But the thing is, with my eyes, I can see that he's playing very, very well, and the way he gets up and supports that. Even with Johnson there or Kulu on the right wing, he will support whoever's there, and he's very effective as well. He put some really deadly crosses in. He made some really good corner kicks, but that one sublime pass that he did that split Newcastle's defence in two was brilliant. And I don't believe a lot of people saying that Richie didn't control it particularly well, but I thought he did a pretty decent job of it. You know, he didn't let it go too far. And then he adjusted his body very quickly to score the goal. That's all you want from your striker. Even if your first touch ain't good, make sure your second touch, you're banging it in the net. And that's what he did.
I think that's. I made a joke about it. I remember making a joke about maybe the first touch wasn't great, like during the watch along, like as the goal happened. But later, I think on it, I think we knew that Richie had a good game, and like, you know, that's part of like, who cares if he had a bad touch in that part? He had brilliant touches before that, and brilliant passages, you know, brilliant passages of play and good link up play. Like, he didn't look as much of a donkey as sometimes he does in other games. Like, he was fabulous, I thought, really, Ellie, and he was what we've been missing in the box.
He always works hard, right? But sometimes his passing and his hold-up play has been found wanting. But in this game, it's like he had a little lease of life. Something's happened to him. I know he's had his operation. I know he had an operation recently, and maybe he's conquered those demons that were troubling him. And he looked like a new player. It's like he's got a new lease of life, lads. And he was very confident in front of goal as well. And he wasn't shy on trying a few things as well. You know, his link-up play was good. He worked tracks back and helped the defence so effectively, you know. So big up to Richie, because I hope it does continue now and he gets a good reign of form and he starts banging them in. But I want him to save the hat-trick for the Arsenal. Come on, Richie. Banging a hat-trick against those Woolwich trespassers, I call them.
Look, we need one of them forward players to start stepping up and helping Sonny in that goal department. You know, we can't just just leave it all on him and rely on him. Just on the touch that Richie took, I'd actually argue it's a great touch by the striker. It takes it away from the goalkeeper. If he touches that, just tries to like sort of straight, the goalkeeper would gather that up all day long.
Or he touches it into the defender or something.
Yeah, you're right.
It takes the goalkeeper out the game. I actually think it's a very good touch, being brutally honest, as a striker. But look, at the end of the day, put the ball in the back of the net. But look, hopefully he can back it up against Nottingham Forest at the weekend. I don't want anyone to get too ahead of ourselves with Richie. But to your point, Postecoglou did sort of speak about the freedom of movement that he was shown in training since the operation he's had. And look, I've spoke a few times before about, a lot of our first team players playing through injuries, and then we wonder why they end up going out for long-term injuries, because they're never right. But the reason why they'll keep rolling them out every week is because manager doesn't trust the strength in depth, and it's the only way of improving that, so that, we give these players a fair chance when they are out there performing.
I just wanted to make a joke, right, about that Richie touch, because, they say the Irish eyes are smiling. Well, your Irish eyes are sharpish. You know, you noticed that, Dave. Not a lot of people notice that, right?
Ellie, I was the one that predicted it.
Because you've played as a striker, haven't you? You've played as a striker, so you know what you're talking about.
I said Richie down the middle. I said Sonny out left, and the
Striker
reason why
whisperer.
we're losing 50% of Sonny with his creativity and stuff. He had so much more to offer, and everyone was blaming the wingers against West Ham. But when both wingers are doing the same thing, your problem is the presence you've got in the box, and that was proven yesterday.
Yeah, and if Ange loses his number 2 to Swansea, I'm voting for you, Dave. I'm putting you in there.
Whisperer. He's the whisperer. He's getting something from Ange, and he's getting something from Sonny. That's for sure, Dave is. I'm not sure. One of them's in his ear.
Yeah. So what else are we going to talk about?
Son's best position. Where do you think he needs to continue on going forward? Or actually, I'll come back to that. Actually, I want to quickly ask you on Vicario what happened with him and Callum Wilson at the end, since we're on Richarlison. Look, Vicario made it in clear and uncertain terms. Wilson didn't like Vicario's reaction, of course, but then Vicario reminded him very quickly about the podcast, and then he didn't like that either. Some would say that's needless after a game. It's already won. Me personally, I actually revel in it. I enjoy it. Where are you at with that sort of shit?
I like a bit of football banter. Sometimes you have when you're bantering something and you think something's wrong, you're going to put your point of view from your logic, aren't you? Right? And like Vicario, he's saying, look, you did this, so you're not clean when it comes to like digging out players. So just hush up your mouth, as they say in Tottenham. Hush up your mouth and move along, move aside, because I'm not taking any shit from you. That's what he said. He's basically giving him the evil eye because he's trying to say to Vicario, you're giving it to me. Well, you shouldn't have given it to Richie when Richie was going through a bad time, and you're a striker and you're digging him out like that and laughing about it as well. So I'm glad Vicario did it. Bit of shithousery after the match is finished is all right with me.
Yeah. All right with me as well.
Yeah,
sorry,
Come
Jack,
on.
you were gonna ask Ellie a question? I'm gonna log back in, by the way. I think I'm lagging.
That's all right. No, it's all right. Definitely can. Romero has been yet again weirdly under some type of criticism and some sort of attention despite us losing, or despite us winning, sorry, Ellie. Romero, what do you make of the fact that people bringing up a conversation of selling him after that game, and feels like all of his tackles now are being really hyper analyzed? And what do you just make of kind of the divisiveness that he seems to bring?
Well, today I've been defending him all day long. I think I've been defending him more than Hojbjerg. Hojbjerg's my man. I'll defend him till I die. Right?
That means you're defending him a whole lot.
Saying, am I Emil Hojbjerg's PR lady? And I said, yes, get with the program. Don't you know?
Definitely are. Definitely
are. Romero, I could be his second in charge behind Mia, because no one can beat Mia when it comes to Romero. Come on.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
All right. But she's got other designs on Romero as well. But sticking to the football so we can keep it clean, right? I think Romero, right, he gets a lot of stick, right, because he's an old school defender playing in the modern time, right?
Yes.
And like we discussed before, I like the old school defender who goes in and shows that attacker that he's there. And if you try to beat me, I'm not going to let you beat me. So he'll leave one on him, right? But in this instance, right, it was a rainy day. The pitch was wet. He slipped and then he caught him. And when you slip and he caught him on the follow through, like we were discussing when he got red carded, we didn't think it was a red card. A lot of people did, but us three didn't, and a lot of other people didn't either. But getting back to what Romero did there, I think he thought, right, I've got to win this ball because he's a very tricky character, right? If he spins on me, he's going to beat Davies for pace and he'll be in on goal. So he thought, right, but he slipped. So I just don't think he's a liability. I think he's a fabulous defender. I think he saves us so many times this season already and previous seasons. All right, if he gets sent off, he's going to miss 3 games, and it is a bit of a bummer. I must hold my hands up. He must pick his tackles, right? If he feels that Davies is not going to cope with it, right, pick it. But if he feels they can communicate, right, because that was Davies' side, right? He's strayed from his side to help out his colleague because he knows that he hasn't got the pace, right? So I just think he's like I said, I think he's like a submarine. He sniffs out danger, right? And if he has to go through the player and he'll pick up a yellow card, as long as he doesn't pick up a red, right? But do you know what? I thought Postecoglou would take him off. I really did, because you could see there's certain matches that he's fired up for. He's definitely fired up for that Chelsea game. Oh my God, it was like he had red in his eyes, you know, and it carried over from when he pulled Cucurella's hair in that match. Do you know what though? I love players.
I love it.
I love it. I love players who are like real men and they go on the pitch and they play hard. They're not little pussycats who just flinch from tackles. And then before you know it, they've gone and scored. Yeah, because you're too soft. And our soft underbelly, I was saying this on a stream today, and a lot of people were agreeing with me. Loads of people. We had the soft underbelly. Now we've got a hard man in our team who'll take you out if you think you're going to get past him. Yeah. So
do you know what on that, Ellie? I have a theory. People are so used to watching Dyer that they think Dyer is a good defender, someone that doesn't lay anything on the opponent, backs off, allows attackers to do what they want. Now that we've got Romero, they think he's a bad defender. He's reckless.
The antithesis of Dyer.
Look, do you know what? Maybe he is reckless, but I don't care. I enjoy it. I embrace it, to be honest with you. I think, I like it personally. I do agree with you, Ellie. I do think you need that hard man on the pitch. Every team sort of needs that guy. Look, I embraced it. I'm not going to tell people they're wrong if they feel the other way. But for me, I just embrace some flaws and all. No one's a perfect human being. No one.
True. And my man Hojbjerg, he's another hard one, right? He's
what
not
did you make of him though yesterday, Ellie? Though gave away that goal.
Listen,
needlessly.
I was watching him, right? Because I had a ticket for the match, but I gave it to my cousin, right? But I was watching him, and I thought, right. You've done quite well. You've passed it well. You've kept it simple, right? And then he was trying to help out the defence by making himself available because they were getting pressed really heavily. And he just done a bad pass. It was a bad pass. He tried to flick it to Gio, and Gio was like side on, and he couldn't recover. And then before you know it, they're banging the goal, isn't it? So I hold my hands up. He made a bad error there. But he very rarely loses the ball, right? Very rarely makes an error, right? So, people can make it of they will, right? But me personally, I'm not going to dig him out for one error over the career that he's had with us. And he's been dropped to the bench and he stayed professional. He comes on, he does his job. Some people say he might not suit our system. I think if you're a footballer, you can adapt. And there's lots of footballers all around the country, boys, who are not suited to that manager's style, but they're still kept on at the football club because of their experience and their know-how. That's my opinion. Other people might not agree. People might say, no, he's not good enough. We need to sell him. But
you're right, Emilio, who's next behind you. She's ready to come on and disagree straight away.
The thing is, it's all opinions, isn't it? It's all opinions, David.
Why they call it the beautiful game, Ellie.
One opinion is right for another person if that other person doesn't think you're right. You just got to go with the flow. Yeah? That's football for you. Everybody's different, right?
You're only right if you predict that happens.
Richarlison's the best striker since sliced bread. So you'll never change their mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Ellie, it's been great to talk to you again. I missed you last week. I had to bounce off to get my salad because I had blood pressure the next day, so I had to go on a diet. No more chips either, Ellie. You'd be disappointed to hear.
An Irishman on salad. Does that go?
I'm shaking. I haven't had chips in like 2.5 weeks. So I'm shaking with withdrawal symptoms.
Tough.
But Ellie, where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me at Just a Girl Loves Spurs with the lovely Kate. And we do the Today's to Debate show tomorrow, which is taking off very, very well. And our after-match shows are doing particularly well as well. You know, lots of people tuning into us. Three ladies on Today's to Debate with Mia as well. Mia and Kate. And we're enjoying ourselves. We don't always agree. Well, like fellas, you don't always agree on football. We don't always agree, but we come to an amicable settlement. None of us are going to back down because we're stubborn as arseholes. But that's how we are. You know, the thing is, with football banter, you just got to go with the flow. If another person doesn't agree with you, just slide it. You know what I mean? Anyway,
just have it out, crack it out, and you
have a lovely chat with Mia now, and I'm sure she's going to dig out the Hojbjerg, so no problem.
Roll her up. But Ellie,
I'm going to get ready for Brian's stream now because I'm on Tottenham on tour on the advent calendar, so I'm looking forward to that at 10 o'clock.
Nice one, Ellie.
Nice one, lads.
You go and enjoy yourself. Have a good evening.
Go and beat another team 4-1. Come on.
That's right.
Ellie, I want to see you on the show next week with one of these bad boys on, by the way. And since
you got to give us a pigeon dance next time.
Since you can't do the pigeon dance, give us a proo to end off.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very good.
Quality.
All right, darlings. Quality. And I'll make sure I come with the nice hat as well. All right.
Make sure you do.
There you go.
Have
a good week, Ellie. Have a good week.
My boy.
Have a good show. Have a good show. Have a good week, Ellie.
And you.
See you.
Enjoy yourselves, lad. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye. Really strong proo there, I have to say.
People
that was absolutely brilliant.
People are impressing me, since you've been asking them that, they haven't backed down. They haven't shied away, even if they didn't want to do it, they just went into it full force, with either the pigeon celebrations or the proos. I'm impressed, really. Like, no shyness at all.
You know what it shows me, Jack? Despite, us being frustrated with him and stuff like that, we've all been secretly practicing in the background, waiting for the moment to happen. That's what it shows me. But look, let's keep it moving. Let's bring on the next guest. It is the one and only Mia. Hopefully back to full health, by the way. Mia, how are you?
Yeah, pretty much there. About 80, probably 80%. I've still got a little bit of a bunged up nose, but yeah, I'm not too bad.
Good day for you, though, yesterday, though, right? Son's birthday and Tottenham win.
Yeah. Do you know what? There's something about my children and Tottenham doing well because the year that we won the cup was 2008, which is the year that Jakey was born. The year that I was born, in 82, was also a year that we won. So there's obviously something to do with my children and me that obviously is good luck for Tottenham because yesterday was Alexander's birthday and we won.
Maybe then we'll win the league, near graduation or something like that, of theirs or some sort of milestone event. We'll line it up with a good Spurs event.
Yeah, it's got it has to be completely aligned though, because it seems like if it's off a little bit, it don't really work. Because I've been to a game that was sort of near my birthday, but it didn't really work out. So
we'll get you in touch with the scheduler. We'll get you in touch with the scheduler for next season.
No more children for me. I'm done with children. Definitely not. Absolutely not.
No, don't add to your luck to it. But Mia, I'm not sure if I want to go straight away to Romero, but Ellie did remind me, you are, probably the head of the PR team in terms of loving Romero and, giving him his due appreciation. Do you want to start there with the fact that he's somehow under some controversy after his behavior and his performance?
Do you know what, right? I'm somebody that I feel like I'm quite fair with Romero. If I think he's been a silly boy, I'll say that was silly. But I'm going to agree with Ellie. When you watched it back, you can see he slipped. So obviously, if you're slipping, you're gonna obviously the way your foot's gonna go is gonna go further than what if you didn't slip. Because if he had the control and he didn't slip, his foot wouldn't have gone as far. The trajectory of the foot is because of that slip. So I think that people were saying it was a red, it's a straight. I don't know. If you watch back, for me, I don't think it was because there was a couple of incidents where Newcastle players did the same sort of thing. They had a bit of a slip and I was a bit like, oh, that was a bit of a challenge. But when you watched it back, you see that they slipped. So I don't think that Romero's was actually any different to that, in my humble opinion. I thought
Is
that
there-
it was a bit of a slip.
Does there seem to be a bit of a weird agenda then forming around him? Because it seems like everything he does now is absolutely hyper-focused, win or lose.
Yeah, I think because of he's been spotlights on him with red cards being given. I think that people are now hyper aware every little thing he does. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, I think that's good. That's why it's happened. And of course, if he gives the ref a decision to make, then that's on him. He's silly to give the referee those decisions to make, because obviously they're going to be hyper aware as well of his record and his reputation. So he's sensitive to it, but there is definitely every little thing now is being really micro analysed. I even heard people speak about how we should sell him, and I'm a bit like, I think that's a bit OTT. I wouldn't sell him. I think I've got to say, I kind of like some of the ways that he is, and don't want to change him. There's been aggressive players in the past. I know it's the past, and people go, well, it's different now. But I think there's always room for those kind of players. And I think that those players run throughout teams now. I think that you do have those kind of players that have got a bit of a lose the plot at any moment type of personality. But if you take that away from them, I think that takes away their game a little bit, because more often than not, he gets it right and he gets those tackles in, wins the ball back, and it's a quick transition. And he's also scored some goals. So I think the positives outweigh the negatives with him. So I wouldn't sell him. And it isn't just because of that personal reason of me thinking that he's absolutely wonderful to look at either.
You didn't even have to mention that as a reason, to keep him, so it showed that you came well prepared. But on, sort of, again, Romero, I do feel like you say, like, there maybe he is a bit more of the past, and sort of his antics and, just the way he plays. But players like Chiellini, players like, I think, Sergio Ramos, Pepe, it's not like they're from that long ago. And to think that somehow the game has completely changed or in any sort of fashion just seems a bit crazy to me.
Clarify, Phil Coyes. I actually did think it was a yellow, by the way. I thought it was a yellow, but not a red, is what I was saying. Just so you know. Big up to Phil, one of the Phil army. Lovely guy. So, yeah.
I had to get you to get straight away with Phil, because since you are, like we say, the PR representative for Romero, so you had to speak on his behalf straight away for it.
Absolutely, I have to speak on his behalf.
Would you like to move on to maybe a player like Richarlison, or
let's move on to Richarlison, because I think that I've always said I wanted him to come good, like I do all of our players. Let's be honest. Like, I could see him struggling, and when he came out and said he had some other issues aside from obviously the physical issues that he's had, I just think to myself it's a really difficult thing to come through, and I really sincerely hope he has come through it good. I still think we're going to sell him. However, I don't know. I think we might send him in the summer. I think it might be a summer job, because I think we need him for when everybody goes to AFCON. Obviously, we're going to not have Sonny either. So I think he's someone we will need. So while he is at the club, I want to get behind him and hope that he will do better. So I want him to do good. And he did have a really good game, and not just scoring the goals. Defensively, he was back there and he was aggressive, man. He was getting back, and he was like, and I love that. And I think he does bring that extra little vim to the team, a little bit Lamella style, as in like the way that he is. Like, and I quite like Lamella for the way that he was like that kind of a bit kind of aggressive with what he does. And Romero, I've got Romero on my brain. Richie definitely does bring that.
No, that's a good comparison to him and Lamella, actually, where like Richie at his worst, at least you knew that he was going to run around and he was going to press and he was going to not back down in the physical, sort of areas. And he would try his best in sort of the unselfish parts of the game of just being a good team player and helping out in that area. It's just the fact that his touch, his finishing, all these other things were letting him down. But that is actually kind of similar to Lamella, I must say, like in a way that
it is quite similar. It is quite a similarity in them. And Dave's right, that touch, People said like it wasn't very good, but he managed to he controlled it well, in my opinion, and made sure that he controlled it so he had it near him, like close to his body, instead of, like you say, letting it sort of run away a bit and letting someone else get the ball. So I think that actually he did really well. And I know one of the goals he sort of splatted. I don't know what he was doing. He was sort of going for his head, but he didn't quite look like he was going to head it. I don't know what he was doing. That was, I actually laughed at that, because when you watch that back, it looked funny. But apart from that, I thought he was really good. And in the middle, I think it's what we needed. And we needed someone to be in the right place at the right time and to get it in the net. And that's what he did. I don't know what else people really wants him to do, but next game he's got to do the same, and next game, you know, he has to show that, absolutely. But I'm really pleased for him, because he had that smile on his face, and sometimes it is confidence. If you're feeling low, they always say don't kick a man down while he's down, and I feel that we don't want to kick a man while he's down, and now he's got up a little bit. I think that's good for him, his morale, and hopefully that'll be good for the team as well, because they all seem to love Richie. They all seem to really love him as well. So I think it's good for him and his confidence. Like he's a bit of a confidence player, I think. So I'm hoping that will push him on. Even if he scores only another few goals in the next 5 games, right? I think that if he contributes, if he does assists or any, you know, as long as he's contributing, I think that's what we want him to start doing. And he has just come back from an operation as well. So, yeah.
And when we saw on Twitter, he has more Premier League goal contributions than a few players that normally you would associate with being a lot better. Jesus, Rashford, Højlund over at Man United. And there was another player in that list that was a bit surprised. Martinelli was in that list as well, that actually Richarlison has more goal contributions than so far this season, which does make you then think about narratives and agendas and, you know, things like that.
Again, it is a bit like that, I think, again, with Richie. I think he feels that as well from fans sometimes. Like, he must know what's kind of being said. And that can't, like I say, kicking him out while he's down. I think we need to really get behind him, because we need him in that team to be scoring, and I think we need to get behind him, if I'm honest. And back to Jesus, he's got such a look on his face every time. He's got this really weird, like, I don't know, like he's just got one of those faces that you just don't like. That guy, every time I see his face, I'm like, what is that expression? He's always got like his eyebrows sort of up. He's always looking moody. What is he about? Sorry, I just don't like him. He's one of those players. Him and Bruno Fernandes. They're just them two. Their faces they're just like faces that only a mother could love.
Always look unhappy. Always look unhappy for sure. One player I want to ask you about, Kulu. He's been taken out the right and moved more centrally the last sort of while. Look, you know, whether he stays there when we get injuries back or not, what do you make of Kulu down the middle? Do you think he's a better player, more effective for Tottenham Hotspur going forward than what he is off the wing?
Yeah, absolutely. Because on the wing he's limited because he's so one-footed. So where he has to check back a lot, and that is really frustrating. But all the good things that he was doing on the wing, which is his work rate, holding up the ball. And, you know, he was trying to get a pass off. Bruce, when he's in central position, it's not such a big deal where he's one-footed, because he can he's got either side to go, or in front, you know, he can look around a bit more, and he's got a bit more options. And he holds that ball up so incredibly well, and he's so strong. And sometimes he has 2 players in him, so that creates space for others when he does manage to get that, like the ball away from him, you know, kick the ball to somebody else. So it means he gets a pass on. He can see a pass. He's got 2 men on him, so he can just go, right, okay, I can get it to that person and create that space. He's brilliant down the middle. Absolutely phenomenal. Yesterday, he absolutely worked his heart out. Like, he absolutely worked his heart. Him and Sarr were absolutely phenomenal. So we missed Sarr's legs so much. I said that in the West Ham game. I said, if Sarr is fit, we have to play him, because we miss his legs and his engine. That boy is everywhere, and he does not stop running. And he doesn't even break a sweat. I don't know how he does it. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. I'm like, this kid, he just runs and runs and runs for hours. And I don't think he'd ever break a sweat. Like, I swear. We've missed him so much. So the combination of having the legs and the engine of Sarr, having the strength and the skill of Kulu, it works really well. And Basuma was all right yesterday, actually. I think he was much better than what we have seen of Basuma last night. A few times he's been a bit off. I thought he looked all right, actually, Basuma yesterday. Not back to his Basuma best, but definitely works better when Sarr's there. I think he's more confident when Sarr's there. Because I think he knows Sarr can help him out, because Sarr does just help everybody out. He puts fires out everywhere. He literally takes 2 steps and he can go all the way across the bloody pitch. The boy's got the longest legs I've ever seen on a player.
Yeah, no, Sarr is absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Let's take this from Al Ben together, me, and then we'll let you plug your channel. He says, watch what Andrew's going to do for those 4 losses. Remember, I said it. He hates losing. Within 3 years, given decent backing, he will win us the league. Look, what I will say is, we beat Liverpool, drew with Arsenal at the Emirates, beat Man United. What was the other one? Drew with City at the Etihad. When you put the litmus test to the teams that people would normally talk about, sort of associate with a title race, we haven't done too bad. Is Ange the man to take us to a title race, providing he gets strength in debt?
Yes, absolutely. I truly believe that. There's something, Dave, in me that I feel this is different. This feels exciting, and wants to win, and he's got the know-how as well. Because unfortunately, with Pochettino, as much as we loved Pochettino, he didn't have that know-how. Where Andrew's gone, everywhere he's gone, he wants to be a winner. And he also quite likes being the underdog, which we are very much so a lot of the times, the underdog. So everything sort of fits. I've said this from a while back, that for some reason, this seems to be the piece of the puzzle that I feel like we've needed for a long time. And I think we had Poch, and he fitted that gap of that puzzle, but it didn't quite fit properly. There's still like a little gap around the edges, where with Postecoglou, when it clicks and it just fits. And that's what I feel like with Postecoglou. I know it sounds weird, but I just feel he fits really well. He's got the know-how of winning. He's got the experience of winning. He's got experience, obviously, as a manager for a long time. He's gone everywhere and won. If we give him the tools he needs, there's absolutely no reason for him not to win stuff. And he said he wants to win, but not just one thing. He wants it to be every time, like we're challenging and we're up there being spoken about. So even he's thinking to that level. And he said there's no ceilings. He doesn't work with ceilings. So he doesn't put a limit on what we can win. And I love that. Every time he says stuff like that, I'm just like, oh, I just love him even more. If that's possible.
I think I would add too to Ange as well, is that I've noticed is that we're actually playing and giving the best teams around the Premier League much better games consistently, even despite the injuries and everything, than we did in the past with Jose and Conte. Felt like with Jose and Conte, it's like if they got the tactics right, like ahead of the game, we would give the team maybe a good game and a good challenge. But if we ended up, getting it wrong, and we would inevitably just sit back, and try to hit teams on the counter. But certain games we would get it really well. Certain games we would get it kind of wrong. And then we would just end up being dominated by teams like Man United, teams like Chelsea, etc. Whereas this season under Ange, like we've given every team in the top 4 like a proper game, and like really have shown our influence and given made them worry about us, which we didn't do as consistently under Jose and Conte. It felt like they either got it wrong or they got it right. Whereas Ange, we know what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to dominate the game, and he's been successful in that. Like so far this season, it's been a nice relief actually going into these Man United, Chelsea fixtures that we are going to try to dominate them, and it's a nice feeling.
You go in believing you can compete,
Yeah, and also when we are competing, how beautiful is it to watch? Like some of that football yesterday, one touch pass, getting the ball going from back to front within just a few passes. Oh my God, so beautiful. It's the things that we watched for years with City, when you watch them playing the way they play, that I was always like, I'm so jealous. I love watching their football. It's beautiful. And Tottenham are doing the same from front to back, few passes, like quick passing and that beautiful football. And even if it doesn't come off and it ain't a goal all the time, we're giving ourselves more opportunities to score those goals because of the way that we play. So we're giving ourselves much more opportunities. We're getting those chances because of the way that we play. And sometimes it doesn't work out, but like you get more often than not, you're going to get chances. So it's just lovely to watch as well.
Absolutely spot on. And just to add to that, out then, look, all comes down to whether he gets the backing. If he can get some of the squad players that we've got that I still don't think good enough to be here, still putting in performances of a decent level, even though we lost the couple of games that we did. I'll be excited to see what he can do with young, hungry players that want to be here and are chomping at the bit to get in that starting lineup. Like I said yesterday, hungry dogs run faster. So we need to continue with the backup. We give Hans Postecoglou that. We could very well take over Europe, which would be absolutely brilliant. Al Ben, big up, my man. Really do appreciate the support, brother. Great talking point, my man. Really do appreciate it. He loves that. He loves throwing in his talking points. I do appreciate it.
Joe, what's funny, right? I was talking to my brother about the game today and was like, I was like, oh, and this player played well. Oh, and I've given a shout out to this player. The whole team yesterday were just brilliant. They were so good. Like, Destiny was brilliant. Porro was brilliant. Kulu was brilliant. Richie was brilliant. Sonny worked his absolute socks off yesterday. They were just, even Brennan Johnson, he was better than what he has been. The final pass into the box sometimes a bit not so great, and also some of his shots were a bit tame. But I think he'll get there. But literally the whole team just were brilliant yesterday. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, for once I didn't find myself, sort of having any criticisms of any players out there, really, which was good. But Mia, what's coming up on
Ben Davies as well? Shout out to Ben Davies. He did get that goal off pretty much stopped it from happening, man. And that
he's avoiding us. He's avoiding our criticism, and for right now, he's doing a pretty good job of it. He's avoiding us.
Long may it continue. But Mia, what's coming up on the channel this week for people to get their eyes sunk into?
Oh, loads. There seems to be just a lot of stuff going on. So first of all will be tomorrow, 8 p.m. will be mine, Ellie's and Kate's debate. Can't talk tonight. And then I have got my 12 Days of Christmas starting tomorrow, which of course you two feature on. The first one is Jose from Talk and Ball. I've managed to get a varied amount of varied people to come on and answer 12 questions. It's on at 12 in midday UK time, so lunchtime. That will be premiering, so it'll be really nice for people to go and watch that, I think, because it gives people a bit more of a backstory to people who you see on screen, who you might not necessarily get to ask these questions. And I honestly enjoyed recording them so much. I really enjoyed recording them.
Questions.
It was a lot of fun. I'm also going to be doing a members call-in myself on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Then I'm going to be doing a preview for the match, and I'm also going to be doing an instant match reaction with the girls as well on Friday. So, like I say, loads coming up, and also then a review of the game, and then a preview of another game. So it doesn't stop. But yeah,
it doesn't stop. You never stop. Yeah,
not in December. It doesn't. It's the festive picture period list.
So the 12 days, obviously, is going to be all the way up until Christmas every single day. And I'm also going to be celebrating my year doing this in 5 days' time as well. So it'll be my 1 year anniversary of my channel, which is nice.
Wow. Absolutely unbelievable growth in the year when you think about it. Actually, that's unbelievable.
Mad.
So fair play to you. But look, make sure you do get over and check them out. The 12 Days of Christmas, absolutely brilliant show. Really enjoyed the questions, actually. So me and Jack likewise, actually. So people do get over and check that out. But Mia, big yourself up. Really appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you for having me
on.
on.
We'll talk again very, very soon.
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon, guys.
Have a good night,
See you
Mia.
soon,
Have a good rest of your week.
Have a good one.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
But people, make sure you do get over and check out the 12 Days of Christmas. Actually, they're very good. You sort of get to know a little bit more about, I suppose, your favorite content creators is what I will say on that. So make sure you check it out. But look, we're down to the final guest of the evening. This will be our last guest, and then we'll be calling it a night, and then get ourselves ready for a couple more shows during the week before we become lumberjacks to trim down the forest or keep the forest in order on Friday. So I cannot wait for that. But look, let's get on to him. Let's bring him on. He is the leader of the Fantasy Football League, Jack, the one that you're trying to hunt down, right?
Yeah, I called him out earlier, actually. I said I'm going to be gunning for him if I have a good week after this free hit that I play. But I'm sure it's not only just fantasy he wants to brag about. Definitely wants to talk about Spurs. And Felix is going to be the closer tonight. So everybody, welcome in Felix. Bald Bean Counter. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, lads? Good to see you.
Great to see you, man.
Good to see
Great
you,
to
man.
see you.
Loving
Buzzing after
it.
yesterday, yeah?
Huh?
Buzzing after yesterday.
Oh, absolutely buzzing, man. It was such a great game. I think honestly, I put it in my tag. I think Spurs are back. I think we're back. I think something's clicking with the second stringers, and he's gotten. Don't know what he's done, but he's done something with whether it's a shift around with the players up top. But we looked a lot more clinical. We looked a lot more fluid. We just looked like we had our shit together essentially. And whether it was Richarlison being fit, I don't know. Whether it's Sonny back on the left, maybe. Whether it's Kudu in the middle, whether it's all those things, that we just looked so much more clinical. Like there was so much more point to our spear. Whereas before, big up Sean, big up everyone in the chat. Big up Mia, big up Ellie, big up everyone, big up Chris, big up everyone. Everyone
big up Al Ben for us as well, becoming a new YouTube member.
Big up Al Ben, big up. Join the members, everyone. Everyone join the members. Come join the league with us. It's having a great time. It's very fun. It's really good.
Behind every defeat, what do they say, Felix? Behind every defeat is a strong and inevitable "we are back" or we are cooking. And so maybe that's what Spurs have at the moment.
Exactly. But honestly, I do watching that game more than any other game this season, even more than when we were on fire and stuff. And bear in mind, we've got our second stringers out there, and we're missing so many. We're missing Madison, etc. And coming off of those defeats, but in that game, and you can say Newcastle were depleted, or tired, which they were, and we were at home, etc. But regardless, in that game, I saw more inspiring stuff than in any other game I think so far. Except barring the Chelsea defeat, because in the Chelsea defeat we saw spirit like nothing we've ever seen. Even that's the most valiant defeat, most proud defeat I've ever had in my Spurs life, in football life anyway. But in this game recently, the fact that we had certain players like Basuma wasn't like, I know there's a lot of conflict about what's going on, but like players like Johnson was, even though he didn't quite finish off his job in certain places, he hit the post at one point, so it was very unlucky. He could have scored. This game, everyone seemed to click in a different way, and it was. I think we're going to go on a run now. Honestly, do, and I think he's somehow managed to make the best of what he's got out of the bare bones of this squad, and the fact that he's not playing Dyer, he's like he's listening. He's like Andrew's like a fan, because it's like he's doing what we would literally do. He's not even playing Dyer. Like, he's literally going for 4 fullbacks at the back instead of playing Dyer, which is literally like something
what some fans suggested last season.
Yeah, it's something we would say like as a joke or like out of anger, but he's actually doing it. And like, you can't, like, anyone who doubts this man is crazy to me. This guy is unbelievably, he's on the ball. Like, so the fact that he's not even playing Dyer, the fact that Dyer is not even featuring, he'd rather play 4 fullbacks. Like, and then the bravery to put Son in the middle, but then also switch him back again, and to also try new things all the time, is what's changed. Is the difference? It's a huge thing, and I think he's finally kind of found a chemistry now that works, because he had to really adapt to the decimation that happened at Chelsea with the Chelsea game. and after that, and subsequent games after that, where we've been in disarray a little bit, and I can't blame him, because it's like he's been sailing a lovely ship, and then suddenly he's just been hit by the broadside decimated. And like, of course, any manager, you can take Pep Guardiola, take half his team out, and he's going to get pumped. He's been getting, like, we can see how fine margins things are, and that shows when you don't have a Maddison, when you don't have a Basuma, when you have a Romero, when you don't have a Udogie, when you have all these players. It really has an effect. And so he has, in my opinion, somehow managed to, I hope, it looks to me from that game, it really does look to me, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself, that he has actually made something click there where we can actually go on a run. Because we look at these fixtures now, and I'm thinking we can really go on a run. And that's why, like, even on FPL, I'm looking at getting maybe a Romero or an Udogie in.
I'm thinking about putting Richie into my team. Do you want to go there on Richarlison?
Richie. It's a little bit expensive, and I want to see a bit more from him before I put it. I would go that far before I go.
But I know you said when I've asked you before about Richie, I know you were one of those that fall in the category of maybe you've lost some of your faith in him, but you kind of have been rooting for him because I know you like him as a person. You know, you like sort of his attitude about life and, you know, in general like that. And you think you've just been secretly rooting for Richie, and felt like that was a good day for Rich and Richie's fans.
100%. I've always rooted for Richie, like, as a person, and also as just his style of being a striker. I always thought it could work for us in the sense that he's kind of like a pressing forward where he presses a lot. When he and he also is a bit of a poacher, so which we saw in the game against Newcastle. Those goals were essentially poacher's goals, where he, you know, the tap-ins, they're sort of getting in the box, getting in the right position, and simply just doing that. It's not, and you know, some of the best strikers do that all the time. That's all they do. It's not. You don't have to do screamers from outside the box. You don't have to do curlers like Sonny does. Sometimes you just need a poacher and a tap-in artist, someone who just presses, breaks that line, makes the run, and all that sort of thing. And when he's on his game, he can do that great. He just needs to, like he did in the Newcastle game. He had his first touch under control. He was good. He could control the ball. He wasn't just getting completely overrun. Like anytime he got the ball, like I thought, anytime he got the ball, he would he'd lose his sort of strength. He'd sort of fall over himself, and the ball would go out from him, and he would lose possession, and something like that would happen. Whereas finally, it looks like he's, whether it's that surgery or whatever it is, I've never seen him play like that. He literally controlled the ball, you know, the same way like a Kane would or Sonny would, where they shift their body, push their bum out, essentially move, shift, and then move the ball again, and can keep control. And he did that all game, and I was really impressed with that. And he. Do
you know what I noticed? He didn't do Felix is when he was sort of playing for a while with that injury. He was like side on, holding him on, sticking his leg out to control it. But yesterday he looked a lot more comfortable. He sort of used his body a lot more better to effect, to be able to man between ball and body, or body between man and ball, and sort of, you know, it really did help him. I definitely agree with that, Felix, on that regard. But look, for me, I actually think as a striker, he'd be more impressed with the first goal. That second goal, I expect any striker to put that away. You have a number of options: head it over the keeper, take it round him, you know. But the first one, I don't think he's getting enough credit. People go back and watch it. Watch the double movement he makes. He makes a run to the near post first to try and make an option for Sonny. Sonny does Trippier, then he pulls back to receive it again to put it in the back of the net. And for me, that's what we've been missing all season long in the box, is that sort of movement in there. Look, Sonny's a winger. He's not going to get the movement of a striker overnight. That comes after through years and years and years and years of playing as a striker, years of working on that instinct, movement, stuff like that. And when you're speaking about, you know, Postecoglou finding a way, for me, that's the biggest one. You're getting against West Ham, we were looking for a leader, someone step up, run at West Ham players, make something happen. But we played Son through the middle, and we didn't have that. Yesterday, we put Son out wide, and not only did he score a goal, but we also got the creativity from him. So for me, I think he's just far more effective out off the left than what he is up front. And I think that's the massive change that really could help get us out of this period.
100%. I think the reason for that is because when Son's in the middle, he can be good in the middle. It's that but when a team is aware of him, they isolate him and they muscle him out of the game. And they get like a centre backs on him, and they just mark him out. And there's games where Son has been anonymous because they've essentially, they're too aware of him and they're not letting him do his thing essentially. But on the wing, he can make the runs past players, use his pace, knock the ball past him, use a little bit of skill, and then turn and then flick it in or corner it or or do his signature thing off the edge of the box where he just curls it right into the top corner. So he's got loads of more dynamism there. Not that he can't do it in the middle. He can. It's just that some teams will isolate him, and it's not going to always be as effective. Whereas if you put him on the wing, he's got a lot more unpredictability to his play. And I think we're going to see such a good Son this season. I can't wait. Like, I think we're going to start purring now. I think. Like, I'm really optimistic. Like, the past few times I've been on, which I've only been on a few times, but when I've been on, the first time I came on, it was in the dark days of Conte. Yeah. And it was like, and I was preaching.
You gave me therapy that night.
Oh, wait, it was bad, mate. That's why I came in. I needed you guys. I came to you in the darkness. I came to you in the depths. So we were like, shit. I was like, I need to make
get this out.
I was like, I need to get on here, and we need to, like, we need to be there for each other. And then,
really though,
yeah. And like the other times I've been on, it wasn't that. Again, it was not like positive vibes. But this time, I actually feel like now, even in spite of or despite of these injuries and absentees and all that we've had, I think we can actually go on a run now, and slowly, other players will start filtering back in, and we'll start purring. And all we need to do, get a little bit more clinical, keep that clinicalness that we had against Newcastle, and stop making some of the silly, sloppy passes that we like the last that consolation goal. That like to get to talk about that is Hojbjerg, because Hojbjerg is someone I've always defended. And that was really quite a moment where I was like, oh, for God's sake, Hojbjerg.
He let himself down, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did, mate. Oh, it was such a moment because I was like, I've defended you. And
it's evidence for the anti-Hojbjerg.
It really was. It was a moment where it was like, because of the whole game and how everything went so well, for that to have happened like that, it was so poignant. And it was like, that was kind of a strong argument for the Hojbjerg out going at people, and I was like, that was a moment, because it was like, if we're going to progress and carry on, we can't have that sort of thing happening. I know we were 4-0 up at that point, but regardless, you can't. If you got to have standards that are like, no, we
can't.
Just
doesn't set a good example, that where you're switching off in the final minutes when you're 4-0 up.
Exactly.
I get it'll happen from time to time over a season, but in order to sort of breed that winning mentality right throughout the squad, everyone has to hold themselves till the final whistle. Yeah. Look, I just thought he was caught in two minds. He didn't know whether to sort of pump it long. For me, it's just so simple. Just go back to Vicario. So simple. Exactly. That's why, for me, he let himself down in that regard, getting caught on the ball. But look, he's had many good games this season, mainly off the bench, as Jack has alluded to. Look, let's see what happens with the guy come January. Felix, what do you make of the sort of narrative around one certain Christian Romero? It doesn't matter what he does now, whether he picks his nose or goes to China.
Don't get me started on this, mate. Don't get me started on this.
Just quickly, Davies Shire has gifted one channel membership to
Phil Coy's
Del Boy. So big up on that, Davies Shire. Absolutely. By the way, I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're keeping well, by the way, in the lad down under. Hopefully, your absence is because you're away on holiday or relaxing or something like that, and not because you had any illness or anything like that. So big up Davies Shire and Al Ben, the new YouTube member. I don't think he's new, but welcome to the community. He's definitely not new anyway. I think he's just renewing it. Big up Al Ben, my man. Really appreciate that one. Man. But look, on Romero, let's go. I mean, what's your thoughts on the narrative surrounding the guy?
Oh, I don't get me started on that. And also, quickly, I'll talk about Romero in 1 second, but just say big up David Shire, because he also gave me a membership a while back as well. So big up to him.
Oh, man.
He's been giving out memberships for a while, so big up to that guy. So that's good. On Romero, don't get me started, mate. Like, I love Romero to death. He's like probably my second favorite player in that squad at the moment after Sonny. He is what he is. I don't understand why people are complaining about. To me, complaining about Romero being aggressive or being a bit rash or whatever is like complaining about a gun being dangerous. It's like that's the point.
It's like buying a chocolate bar and playing with that
Of course it goes-
chocolate, right?
Exactly. Of course it goes bang. Of course it goes bang. It's a gun. Do you know what I mean? He's a dangerous player. He goes bang. He hits you. He's Romero. That's the whole point. Like, and people
whole
have to get,
point.
that's the whole point. Like, you're getting in a rodeo with a bull and you're angry that it's kicking. It's a bull. Like, that's the whole point of him. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's why we have him. He's there for that. That's who he is. That's what you want him for. Like, there is no and people forget that 9 times out of 10, more than 9 times out of 10, 18, 19 times out of 20, his tackles are perfect. He comes sliding into people at a huge rate and perfect tackles. People don't talk about the perfect tackle he does every single day. He does. I think he has stats where he averaged a tackle, like one of those tackles, every couple of minutes, every 10 minutes, or something like that.
Interceptions as well. He reads the game. He'll just step right in front of the guy, outclass him.
He went for the first 5 or 6 games of the season straight without a single foul. The only defender didn't commit a single foul for 5 or 6 games straight. Not even a yellow card, not a foul. He was punching tackles. He was sliding into people all this time. People don't think about that. People look at this, follow Sky News or Match of the Day and follow the pundits when they go, "Oh, look at that one tackle where he left his shoe on someone," and they go, "Oh, he's a reckless guy. He's dangerous. He's South American." And that thing where they talk about, "Oh, he's Argentinian, so he's got red blood and he's aggressive." That's what they're like. That's crazy talk, bro. You can't You should, to me, I hate people going all PC or whatever, but that's you can't just go, oh, because he's South American, he's really aggressive. That's crazy talk. He's a really good player. He's literally one of the best centre backs in the world. To go and say, oh, he's just really aggressive stuff, it's so reductive. It doesn't understand. You don't understand the quality and the majestic play that he has. Honestly, for me, people that doubt Romero, people that say that stuff, don't really, honestly, with all due respect, don't know what they're talking about. He is honestly one of the best defenders in the league right now. He is amazing at what he does. He's a bit aggressive. He's a bit passionate because he actually plays for the badge. You don't see a lot of players that actually play for the badge. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. He plays for this team, mate. There's no we sit around complaining about Sanchez's and Dyers and all these players and Tanguy and Dombele, and because they don't care the flying fuck about this team, they would never play for this team. They would never go and die for this team like he does. And
so well said.
That Romero, I don't understand how anyone can have anything bad to say about this guy. The only thing that's bad about him is he's a bit too passionate. He's a bit too good, but he's a bit too much, a bit too passionate. That's not a problem to me. That's not a sin. That's a great problem. That's a great vice to have. Is a bit too passionate. He's amazing. He's what's held us together in this defensive line. When he was out, we saw the effect when he was out. I don't understand what the people are saying. Oh yes, you're scared when he leaves something on, he risks something. That's gonna happen, and you just have to accept it. And it's not a big deal. He's so much more worth. He's so much more of an asset than the liability of occasional maybe a red card. And in reality, he's only gotten 1 or 2 red cards in his career or something like that, or under us. I mean, it's really overblown stuff. So I've went on a rant there, and that's my opinion.
No, I couldn't agree more with you. I love it. That's the point of a centre back at the end of the day. You don't buy a chocolate bar and complain that tastes like chocolate. So,
exactly.
It's really spot on, lad.
Yeah.
We're not even missing his aggression if we somehow sell Romero. I've said it earlier. I think we're losing actually one of the best center backs in the league on the ball. 100%. I think he is one of the best center backs in the league on the ball in possession. He is unpressable.
I guarantee you, and if we were to sell him, he'd be going to someone like a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich or something like that. He'd be going to some team like that. It wouldn't be. He would be going. Oh, Man City. I swear, Pep would snap him up if he could. A lot of teams would. I mean, any team with sense would want Romero. He's amazing.
Another very passionate. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was going to say, even his data. If you're going to go on to talk about data and analytics and stats and all that stuff. He is ridiculous. He is getting ridiculous data. He's scoring goals as well, for God's sake. He's almost scored that beautiful header. Is
he better in the air this year, do you think? Do you think he's improved on that side of his game?
Oh, he's great. He's great. I think all the players have improved in our squad in lots of areas because they've been allowed to express themselves and been released and actually play rather than play, the robotic, horrible automaton system that Conte wanted. They've actually been released now. We see Romero surge forward sometimes, he's an attacking midfielder. He goes flying forward. He's in the box. You're what the hell? That's our centre back. He's up in the final third, and he's striking it. And he scores goals. It's a crazy time to be a Spurs fan. I'm loving it. It's absolutely great.
Definitely is. Yeah. It definitely is, my man. I can't wait to see where we go on the ranch, Postecoglou. hopefully now we're out of the rut, and that we can move forward, because there's nothing better feeling than Tottenham winning. Everyone's in great mood, joyous mood, and stuff like that. And I just hope them players sort of, I think they're starting to. I think they do sort of get it a little bit. How an effect they can have on human beings that are Spurs fans. It's something I don't think the squad under Jose or Conte or people like that really sort of cared about, to be brutally honest. But I do see that with this team. So long may it continue. But look, Felix, we'll have to leave it there, my man. We'll have to call it an evening. But great seeing you again. Great seeing you. I missed that luscious long hair of yours.
No, I loved it, man. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to come on here. It's the only show I ever go on. It's the only show I'm a member of, as I always say.
But look, before you go,
yeah,
have you been practicing the pigeon?
Of course.
Give it to us.
Oh, Dave, shoulders as well. Got thrown in some shoulders in there. That's nice to see. Everybody's done their own. Each one is individual to the person. Each pigeon dance individual to the person.
Oh, I love that.
He's got a good head for it. He's got good neck power. Also, again, neck power.
By the neck is that header,
Exactly, man.
Do you know what? That's a great tactic, actually. Just pretend you're going for a header. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Good idea.
Felix, big yourself up, my man. And look, when I'm over there for a game, I'm planning on trying to do the North London Derby towards the end of the season. If you're going, let me know, and I'd love to meet up with your brother and have a drink with you.
Oh yeah, you know what? Even if I don't get a ticket, let's go for a drink after the game or whatever.
Yeah,
sounds
100%.
Very nice
feeling. Getting a ticket sometimes is not as easy as it's.
No, it's not.
It should be.
Not now, anyway. Not now under Postecoglou. Definitely not.
No,
definitely
exactly.
Not. Felix, you go and have a good evening, sir, and we'll speak again very, very soon. And thank you for all your support, brother.
Up the Spurs, man. Big up you guys.
Spurs. Up to you, Felix. Have a good week, sir.
Yeah, Felix. Have a good one. Have a good one. Oh, what a great calling by Felix, everybody. Absolutely big him up. Great things to say, Jacko.
No, great things to say. And I loved his Romero rant. I thought it was a really good one, actually. And it was, you could tell, right? He's been sort of talking, even thinking about it, just getting really upset about it, for some time as well. But he just had a lot to say on it. And I really appreciated, just letting somebody else sort of rant, instead of us, Dave, about something you could really see, it was one that he felt very passionate about. So it was a good Romero rant and a good one to end on, a very good closer. And that is, by the way, everybody, the face of our league leader of the members fantasy league. So if you want to get in on that and you want to maybe give Felix a better challenge than Dave or I have been, feel free to come on and, join the members and get in on the fantasy league, everybody. But Felix, quality man, top guy, as everybody that we've had on today. A lot of people and all regulars really for today. No new faces or anything like that. Would love to have a new face next time, but really do appreciate everybody who's come on, had their say. Brad Matthews, Tron, Mia. We also had as well. I'm trying to remember Felix as well. Felix, Shawnee, two really good members, and really Ellie, of course, really good guest today. Really good conversations, and really do appreciate everybody that's come on, taking the time out of their evening to do so. Anybody who's supported the channel in extra way, Neil Thomas from earlier, really appreciate you, Neil. Re-grabbing that membership, as well as just supporting the channel for as long as you have been, for nearly 20 months, and as well as Davies Shire, Al Ben. Really do appreciate you all, and look forward to seeing you again this week sometime, everybody. Any final words from you, Davo? Yeah, just quickly, look, Davies Shire going through a bit of a hard time. He's one of our own. So please, everybody, if you see him around the place and in any of the chats or stuff like that, please just check in with him. Make sure he's all good. We like to hold each other up and stay strong. We're only as good as the weakest link, as they say. And I'm not calling Davies Shire a weakest link, but I think people get what I'm trying to say when it comes to that. Let's hold him up. Hold him up big and strong when he needs the Spurs family the most. Davey, really do anything at all. Just email me, drop me your number, and I'll be there for you, my man, where I can. So big up, Davey Shire. But look, Spurs are back temporarily until we lose again. But look, that's it from the fan show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I want to see more of these festive hats being branded around before Christmas. So make sure you get on and get them ordered, and it feels good, very comfy to wear. They fit my big fat head, so they do fit big heads if there's anyone out there I'm wondering. Look, we'll leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow. Stay great. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty yards we trust. We
never stop.
We never stop. See you, everybody. Have a good week. Hope to see you soon.
Come on.